And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bray. I'm joined, as always, by Gerald Bales.
Hi.
And our special guest, Sarah Flores Bales.
What? This is my first time on the show.
Feels like it, right?
Right, yeah.
But we brought her this week because we've got some important things to bring up. It was Shark Week last week.
Yes, last week.
Rom.
Chomp, chomp.
But we had our 4th of July episode, so we're going to talk about shark stuff this week. But as always, if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube, youtube.com/sitdownstandard. You can check out all of our beautiful faces there. We also do lots of field trips and things like that, which we have some stuff planned here for today. Mm-hmm. But also you can listen to the audio version, iTunes. Go leave us a review, 5 stars. Tell us what you think about the show. Or you can check us out on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
They would not appreciate you calling it that, David.
SoundCloud.com. Or you can go on Stitcher Radio as well as Google Play Store. We're on there now. Have you even checked that yet? You still?
I don't have an Android phone. Why would I check that?
I'm going to ask you every week.
No, I'm not.
All right, but before we begin anything, as we always start every show, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
Good
that
one.
was good. I like that.
That was pretty good?
That, yeah.
Got the shark.
That was good.
Chomp. All right. Sarah, since you're our special guest, let's start with you. What you doing, Sarah?
This week has been a very busy week, David.
Good.
I have actually, and I know we've talked about this before on the show, but I crochet and knit. I'm crocheting a blanket.
Nice.
It is, I was going to have it be a surprise for Gerald, but he figured it out.
Well, you can't crochet something in front of me and be a surprise. Like, I'm going to figure out the design eventually. That's the whole point of it.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, so.
Don't look at me.
It's the Stark, sigil.
The direwolf, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the direwolf.
awesome.
Winter's coming.
For a blanket. So hopefully by the time I'm done with it, winter is actually here.
Nice.
So.
Good
I
job.
thought it was going to be my anniversary gift. That's like
no,
next week.
No, I have something else planned for that.
Oh, okay.
I already told you.
You're
That's
done.
not your anniversary gift.
All right.
I can't do it in 2 weeks. You're insane.
So, how long does it take? I mean, like if you're proficient at it as versus like if you're beginning, because you've been doing this a while. So, like, do you get better with time? Are you faster? Are you better? Is it?
It really just depends on the type of yarn that you're using. So this yarn that I'm using is actually really thick, fat yarn.
It's like a throw blanket.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be, it's gonna be a throw blanket for the couch, but I had actually purchased the yarn about almost a year ago for a completely different project, and I never got around to that because that just took too long. So I was like, well, let me just use it while I have it.
Just be careful when you put it on, Gerald. You might get like stabbed or something at the
Yeah,
same time.
right.
The North remembers. But is it a time thing, or do you actually get better at the crocheting, or I don't want to say the wrong whatever terminology it is, when you do more of it? Is it like a? Is
Well,
it
of
like
course,
a?
it's
it's like anything,
anything.
right?
Yeah, it's anything like if you work at it, if you
Practice
enough,
practice.
yeah.
No, but thinking like you paint miniatures. So there's like you can paint it. You'll be able to paint not only more quickly, but you'll also paint more efficiently. You'll get better details. Can you see that? And well, that's the only
No, your
analogy.
pants are blue. Every single time you mention it.
I know. It's got a 40-year-old virgin on it. But is it something that like you can go and see like, oh wow, someone who knows what they're doing actually did an amazing job on this particular design?
Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. I mean, if you saw any of my projects from when I first started, they're bad. There's
different
wobbly.
stitches, like more advanced stitches and stuff too, right?
Well, this one is just a single. It's called a single stitch, but
Yeah, let's get in it deep. Let's make this a stitching podcast.
yeah. So it's just called a single stitch, but it's
Stitch
like anything.
down and standard. Stitch down standard. I'm sorry, that was too easy. Go ahead.
But it's like anything. If you practice enough at it, you're gonna get better and quicker at it. I haven't made. Well, my last big project was the blanket that took me forever to make for my mom. So this one is actually going more quickly. And since I'm doing, it doesn't have as many pieces to it. So I think it'll go a lot quicker than my other one did.
In the stitching community, is there like the turducken, like the thing you never like? No one ever stitches that way with that. You know what I mean? Is there like the holy grail of stitching, or is there a person who's like the stitch master?
You watch them on YouTube, you're like, oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, like and people are cheering. Do they have like what is it? Let's Plays? Let's
They
Stitch?
do have a creative.
Let's Stitch.
They do have a creative channel on Twitch. So people like painting or they have crocheting. And
That's
stuff.
cool.
Really?
That's super cool.
Yeah.
See?
Why you no tell me?
Yeah, it came out a little bit ago. They just actually came out with a eating channel.
Oh God.
Hey,
People-
listen.
It's big and
But
yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's like any one big person that's like more amazing than the rest of the community. But actually on what keeps me inspired is actually the crochet subreddit, because you see like what everybody else does.
Yeah.
And like,
Work in progress Wednesdays.
yeah, exactly.
See, that's
They're
cool.
called Whip Wednesdays, you know? So it's like, it's cool because like you see what other people are doing, and that, I've
It's
seen.
like the Pinterest for, because Pinterest has a little bit of that. Like when I see stuff on Pinterest,
projects and
yeah,
patterns
you're
and
like,
stuff.
oh, cool, that's cool. Like I see how, and they also, I like the how that community with Reddit and stuff like that also doesn't like keep secrets. It's just like, no, I want everyone to know how I did this instead of like, look at this amazing thing that you'll never be able to
so
do.
that's always one of the first questions that they ask is where's the pattern? Like that's always one of the first questions that are asked when somebody posts their picture of their finished product. My question that I always ask, and I know this sounds so wrong, is my question is, I want to see the back. Show me the backside.
The back is always what looks kind of like crappy, right?
Yeah. So, cause I'm always interested
'cause
to see
that's-
like how people like tie in the work, like the different yarn colors and stuff like that, or how it looks like
Right.
from
Like
backside.
you look at a like one of those blankets that has like this really cool design. You look at the back and it's just like this
Yeah.
mishmash of craziness. You're like, oh god.
Because to me, that shows the most work. Like that shows you
Hiding
like the
it.
scale of the work is like how much you can see on
How
the back.
well you can hide it.
Yeah, so that's always one of my questions whenever somebody posts a finished product is, what does the backside look like?
And people sell their patterns, right? Isn't that like a big industry?
There's
too?
too?
You can buy
Ravelry is a big website where both knitters and crocheters go to get patterns.
Uh-huh.
And then of course there's places like Etsy. But if you're already in it doing this, then you don't really go to Etsy, just because like for some reason they mark up a lot of their patterns and you're like, please.
Remember I bought
Please.
that cross stitch pattern for $6 and never finished the project.
Yeah, and so you're just like, please, like I can find this somewhere else. Don't get crazy.
No, because I know my my stepmom. She sells. At a point in time, she was selling like patterns to people online and stuff like that, and it's like you can make quite a bit of money. Like but she has like a gigantic printer thing, and like it's a no joke. It's like a real hardcore.
Legit.
Yeah, cool. Anything else?
We saw a movie this weekend. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't remember if it's Dave and Mike need wedding dates or if it's Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
Doesn't matter.
But those are the two characters of the movie who need wedding dates.
It's Dave Franco and the guy
No.
from.
No.
No, who is it?
It's Zac Efron.
yeah.
Oh, Zac Efron.
And,
You gotta admit,
Adam
they-
Devine.
Those guys are
yeah,
all the same.
Is it Levine?
I thought it was Divine.
I think it's Levine.
Levine?
No.
No, that's Adam Levine. No, it's the guy from Workaholics.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
that's the guy that everyone knows. He's also in like Pitch Perfect and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
Modern
he's
Family,
like
he had an arc, so.
he's. It seems like he's like almost in every movie. We saw a trailer for Why Him, which is with James Franco and Bryan Cranston, and he's also in that movie. So it seems like he's in
yeah.
everything right now.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
He's James Franco like a few years ago, where James Franco was just in everything. So how was it? Was it good? Oh well, what is it? Just real quick, if people don't know what it's about.
Took some notes down. I put meh.
I know, but you said that. I asked you how it was. You said it was okay.
Sarah actually mentioned it's like this generation's Wedding Crashers, or at least it tries to be. It's not as good as Wedding Crashers, and there's actually a Wedding Crashers joke in the movie.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun with the eye drops. Oh no, Wedding Crashers him, you know?
Yeah.
But it's all right. It's had some funny moments. The girls are Aubrey Plaza and
Is it
super
Anna
cute.
Kendrick?
Yeah, super cute by the way, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Meh.
Well, I know that. So the plot is that they're like they always cause problems when they go
At
to
the
their family
gatherings, they're
Right.
the
Yeah.
troublemakers of these big epic parties. So they need respectable women
Because
they
there's-
always go and pick up chicks at the family gatherings,
right,
and
which causes problems.
ruckus. Yeah,
And their sister is getting married.
Yes.
correct.
So they want to not ruin their sister's wedding, so they go out and try to find
Two quote unquote nice girls. Now these girls are like the two brothers, where they're smoking weed all the time, partying, and all that kind of stuff. But they present themselves as respectable people. But you know what? Record scratch. They're the bad girls.
What?
So yeah, hilarity ensues. It's like, and Sarah and I were kind of making jokes because it's a destination wedding in Hawaii, so it's like 3 or 4 days. Mm-hmm. And it was like, what kind of people have the money to like fly everyone out?
Yeah,
Well,
there was
that's-
like 100 people at that
the
wedding.
wedding.
Well, that's why I think in the trailer the girls say something like, "Oh, we're going to get them to take us to Hawaii." Like
Yeah.
it's part of like a scam to just get a free trip to Hawaii
Yeah.
and hang out with these guys.
Well, that was
Yeah.
their whole premise was, we'll pay for this trip to Hawaii if you come with us to the wedding.
right, and they go on to like some kind of daytime talk show to like talk about.
Wendy-
We're looking for.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah, Wendy
Yeah.
Williams.
But I also made a comment here. I said Zac Efron's arm veins
Holy moly.
gratuitous.
Is he just ripped out of his mind?
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, he was ripped out of his mind in Neighbors and Neighbors too. He's been just
Oh,
jacked.
see, we didn't
Yeah.
see that.
We saw, but the first Neighbors, same thing.
Yeah, he's
He
jacked
wasn't
out of
as
his-
ripped.
But there's a part
though.
where like he's with like one of the girls and she's naked because she was on drugs. Spoiler alert. But
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
of course.
he's wearing a jacket because he's at a wedding. So, but instead he of course gives her the jacket and the shirt. So he's walking around with his pecs and abs.
Yeah, and it's like really
His
like you
arm
couldn't have
veins.
just given her like the shirt and worn the jacket, or given her the jacket and just worn the shirt. Really?
Gotta make that.
Yeah, there's got to be enough screen time for Zac Efron's arms and abs. So.
See, now I was saying, who's gonna win Guns of the Year? Because I mean, Chris Evans, like that helicopter scene,
the helicopter
in
scene's pretty
Captain America, like literally, like as soon as that scene came up, I was like, oh my god! And then we went to go see this movie, and he's just walking around with his ginormous arms, Zac Efron is, and I'm like,
his t-shirts
oh
are
my
obviously too
god!
tight. You're like,
he's got the baby gap. He's still wearing the clothes from High School High.
yeah. High School Musical, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if I had arms like that, I'd probably dress like that.
Exactly. I would do that. I'd just be oiled up all the time. Hey, what's wrong, guys?
Go out to get your mail.
But see, the thing when I see these type of movies, it's you have to be careful, right? Because you want to show the funny parts in the trailer, but you don't want to show the funny. It's what we talk about, right? You tell your best joke at the end. You tell your second best joke as your first joke, right? It's like one of those things. And it seems like the trailer has some really funny parts.
And those were most of the funny parts in the movie.
Right, and that's always yeah.
It's all right. It's not great, but it's it's a funny little date movie. Take someone, I guess.
I like to see the girl from I can't remember
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, it's weird to
From
see her
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, because on Parks and Rec she's playing, and I've seen her in interviews, and she seems very introverted and very shy. And like lately, a lot of her roles have been more like bad girl. You know what I mean?
It's weird because she has like this really crappy Cuban accent in this. Like, oh, we gonna get some.
Oh, really?
She doesn't.
We need to be nice and respectable.
Oh, that's
She
weird.
does not pull
That's
it
bad.
off.
Okay. Well, you would say it's a rent. Maybe rent it, not.
Yeah, maybe Redbox it. You know,
Yeah,
if you
definitely.
If you like those kind of movies, because it's that that type of comedy.
Yeah.
But it looks. I love Adam, whatever his name is, the guy from Workaholics. He's fantastic. He's so funny and Pitch Perfect.
But it seems like everything he's in, other than Modern Family, every other thing he's in, he has that same shtick. Like he's a lot of face stuff. I don't know.
Well, he's
funny.
He's
like
a
the
very,
Vince Vaughn.
like-
He's the
Yeah,
Vince
there you
Vaughn
go.
of that, like you said, Wedding Crashers. He plays a role. That's what he's the same guy in every. It's like Ryan Reynolds until really Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds, but every movie he's been in, he's the same character.
He's Van Wilder.
He's a very physical actor, like just like the way that he like expresses himself. So, but I think that I don't know. I think it is this generation's Wedding Crashers, but it's not as good as Wedding Crashers.
God,
Definitely
Wedding Crashers is so funny.
It's a classic.
Built for speed or for comfort?
Yeah, the problem that movie. I remember.
You wrap it up.
You wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Let's
I remember
lock it up.
crying. Lock
Oh,
it
lock
up.
it
You
up,
lock
yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
I remember him crying. I was crying in the theater, dying laughing. And it's one of those like it has good pacing because it's like super super funny, and then it has kind of a moment to kind of refresh, reload, and then it's super super
Got
funny.
the heart stuff. and-
Yeah, exactly. And plus, what's her face is in it? I can't remember her name. The
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Yeah.
She's
holy smokes. Anyways, okay. Anything else, Sarah?
No, that's just about it. What are you doing, Gerald?
You mean what you doing, Gerald?
What are you doing?
You've been
Gerald?
on this podcast too many times to get it wrong, Sarah.
Right. So other than seeing that movie, got a couple things. Game came out, guys.
Oh,
That is
here we
taking
go.
over
Yeah, it is.
the world.
Jeez,
His
Louise.
life.
Taking over my life and my battery life.
And our marriage.
Yeah.
And it is called,
Pokemon Go.
or as we call it, Poke Mango.
As you call
Pokemango.
it.
Because
You don't
Pokemango.
know, David.
I did. I downloaded it. But okay, first of all, if you are not into gaming, what the hell is this?
All right. Pokemon Go is a mobile game for Android and iOS.
Yes.
It's like, think of, if you're familiar with Ingress.
No one is familiar with Ingress.
Which is a game that came out by Niantic Labs, same company. But it's a geolocation or geo multiplayer game.
So tell people what the main gameplay is. Well, if you don't know, you're catching them all.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
geocaching, kind of similar to that. But yeah, you catch Pokemon. You go out in the real world, people. This isn't something you sit on the couch and play. You have to go out. That's the name. Go. Go outside. Nerds. I had to do the same thing. It's super hot outside. But you go out and Pokemon pop out in the world and you level up the more you catch. And obviously you want to fill up your Pokedex just like any other Pokemon game.
Like a good trainer.
Yeah, by the way, these are first gen Pokemon in this game.
Yes. So they
The
can
best generation, the first generation.
OG.
Yeah. And you go out in the world and you catch a Pokemon and they're rated by their CP, which is their combat power.
Okay.
Think of like leveling in the regular game.
Yes.
And obviously more powerful or more difficult to catch. You go on the real world and catch these.
Now this is pretty cool because it literally when you see the screen, like the map of where you are, it's literally a Google
in real
map.
time.
It's a Google map
Yeah,
of
it's
where you're
real
at.
time.
And as you walk around, your little character literally moves around like in real world. So it's and then the Pokemon are you'll see them kind of you can kind of zoom out a little bit, but not like maybe like half a mile away from you, and you can spin around 360 and you can see where Pokemon are available to either catch, or there might be a gym.
Well,
There's
what you see
different
there,
locations.
there's gyms and then Pokestops. And Pokestops are places where you can, and they refresh every 5 minutes, where you go, you spin this little wheel, and you get things. So you get stuff like Pokeballs, potions, eggs, where you can hatch into get other Pokemon.
But when you say you have to go, you physically, in the actual real world, have to go to that location.
Yep.
Like I was at work when I downloaded it on my lunch.
Right. Okay.
And then I was like, okay, I did. They give you one off the bat.
starter, you get.
Yeah.
What starter did you pick?
I picked Charizard or Charmander.
Charmander, good choice.
Yeah, I picked Charmander.
Obvious choice.
And then I work next to a hospital, so it was like all these Pokemon were next to this hospital, or because they have like all these like statues and like artwork that are out in front
Well,
of
the Pokestops and gyms are more located around landmarks, like you said, hospitals, statues, fountains, parks, things like that. But the more dense the population is, the more random Pokemon you're going to find. You can't really see where the Pokemon are on your map until they're within a certain radius.
Yeah, like I said, probably about like half a mile.
Yeah, and there are, just like in the game, grassy areas that pop up randomly on the map. If you walk to those areas, there's a higher chance of getting a Pokemon. Which
So
is kinda cool.
basically, what they did is they took Pokemon and they added GPS functionality.
Almost like geocaching.
Yeah,
It's
and
geocaching and
you-
Pokemon put together.
Yeah, and geocaching is what that other game that you said. What is it called? The company that made the other. It's called
No, not,
Well, no,
Ingress,
but
Ingress
Ingress,
is
that's
almost
what I'm-
exactly like Pokemon, just a skin over it.
right, but I'm saying it was all based off of this original idea called geocaching, which is people would put like
A little box with paper and sometimes little trinkets and stuff.
yeah, and it was like they'd give you longitude and latitude, and then you would go to that and you would like look for it, and then you would cache
secret
it.
clues to find, where exactly it's at. Write your little name
Buried
down.
treasure
It's very
in the
cool.
real world.
Exactly.
In 21st century.
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
See, this is what I love about it. So yesterday, of course, during our date night, this is what we did. So
On our way back from after we
This
saw
is
the
how
movie.
I know you're perfect for him, Sarah, because you actually didn't say, no, we're not doing that. And you're like, okay, fine.
Well, that's the movie. We're at Aliante Station, and the big sign is a Pokestop.
Yeah.
So we go there. I'm like, babe, just park right here. I got caught an Abra. And then spin the thing, got the thing, and you see these. There are 2 or 3 guys looking at their
there's
phones.
quite a few guys. Like this is what
looking
I
for
love.
it.
So I
Everyone's
noticed ever since he's like pointed this out to me, and like I've kind of like recognized it a little bit. You see all these like pasty white nerds coming out of like
My eyes.
The
like
sun.
their eyes are glued to their phones, but you see them like wandering around. It's a very strange thing.
It's cool.
It is really cool. Now,
I think it's awesome.
What's cool, I think, is actually pretty cool about it is certain things require you to actually walk. If you go over, if the game will recognize if you're going too fast, like you're in a car.
Yeah, and Sarah drove me around because we're trying to hatch some eggs. All right.
But based off of how much distance you are, you get things to happen. Like you hatch eggs to grow more Pokemon, and you get certain benefits by walking, literally walking. Like the game is literally encouraging kids to get that off the couch and walk around. And there's probably only like a few IP video games that will literally make kids do that, and Pokemon is almost at the top.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah.
And even like the first day I downloaded this game after work, I'm like, man, it's 102 degrees outside, but I gotta check out this game. So I'm walking around my neighborhood on my phone. There was this spot by a little park that's in our neighborhood that had a grassy area in this guy's driveway. So I'm like wandering this driveway, like, I hope no one sees me.
Yeah.
This is kinda
So
weird.
yesterday, so I get home and we're supposed to go to this movie, and so I get to the house and he's not home. So I call him and I'm like, "Where are you?"
My babe. The Cane's restaurant down the street is a Pokestop. The guy added a lure, so Pokemon are coming here. I'm refreshing every 5 minutes and getting a bunch of Pokemon in front of the Canes.
Yeah.
I'll be home in a
It's a
second.
new way to get your ass kicked. But it's awesome.
Just sitting in the parking lot, yeah. And then there's gyms, which, in the game are these big things where powerful people or powerful Pokemon, you could put there and you could battle them and take control of the gym. 3 different factions in the game.
Right.
Team Valor.
Yeah.
Preach.
That's you, because it's red colored.
Of
Yep.
course.
But it's very fun. You see on the subreddit, a lot of people where it's like, I went to this park. This is a guy who posted a video of everyone that's visiting this park. He's like, hey, are you playing Pokemon Go? And like,
Oh,
everyone's freaking playing it, of all ages and
Yeah, it's
ethnicities, and it's just,
Well,
everyone's glued to this game.
Well, we
It's
talked
amazing.
about Pokemon. They had their 20th anniversary, so they're fitting that real sweet spot of almost hitting every generation now. They've been around for so long. It's like Magic. Everybody plays Magic the Gathering. Everybody plays Pokemon. I mean, those two things kind of came up somewhat in the same time. I think Magic's maybe a little bit older, but it doesn't matter. My point is like, there's certain IPs that can do that. Magic might be one of them because of just the sheer audience that it has and the lore that it has. But Pokemon's been going on so long that there's so much they can do. Now
and
the
it
game
fits the world. It's the video game. Oh,
Right.
So in the video games, to hatch eggs, right,
Yeah.
you have to walk, just like in this Pokemon
Yeah.
Go game. And in the game, you'd get your bike because you go faster, and you
Right.
go down a straight area, right? Back and forth
Right.
to hatch the egg. It's the easiest way. On Reddit, someone posted like, dude, I saw this guy on a bike down my street going back and forth trying to hatch its egg. It's the game in real life. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's like it's grinding, but in the real world. Like,
Yeah.
get on your stupid bike and go back and forth. Like, that's
To hatch your egg.
It's so like meta that it's like mind melding. Like, it's like what? Like, we're actually gonna do things that don't. But people might actually lose weight or do exercise. Like, it's not a bad idea.
Like I said, I went out and I told Sarah, like, I want to go on the strip. I don't say that.
Yeah, the strip here in Vegas.
Yeah,
walk on
we
the
know
strip.
we're from Vegas. I never say that unless we have company in town. I want to go because there are Pokestops everywhere in the Mandalay Bay. There's like 20 of them
Yeah.
in one hotel.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're just gonna not even look up once. You're just
No.
gonna be staring at your stupid phone.
Exactly.
How many people are gonna walk into like the street now trying to get there?
I need an extended battery now on my phone because
Yeah.
it's going to die.
So and it's free to download.
It's free. They do have microtransactions, of course.
Yeah.
It's like any other these free games where you can buy what's called lucky eggs, or you can buy more Pokeballs if you're really bad at catching, or potions and all that kind of
So,
stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about it doesn't matter if the Nintendo Wii U doesn't do well anymore. This is all they really
Their
need.
stock raised 8.9% when this game
That's
came out.
impressive.
That is for a game.
Yeah.
A single game, and it's going to go up more.
And technically, Nintendo or it was Niantic Labs and the Pokemon Company. Nintendo's name is not on this.
No, I know, but I think they have a controlling interest in the Pokemon Company.
Right, of course, but
yeah.
it's not like Nintendo released this game.
Agreed, but they're the ones that I'm sure they worked with them to
Oh, yeah, I'm
some
sure.
extent. But it's great for the Pokemon brand, and it's a huge thing. Now you said it just got rolled out here just a few days ago, and then it was originally rolled out in New Zealand and
Yeah, that's where it
Australia.
started. New Zealand, Australia, and then now in the U.S. They stopped the rollout because during busy
Server.
peak hours they are having issues with the servers and
That's
stuff.
it, that's
of course, any
anticipated,
kind
yeah.
of thing like this.
Yeah, while we were out today, you kept saying like at different times you're like, "Oh man, the servers are down."
I know, of course, right? We're in a freaking casino, man. But see what else notes did I have?
I was going to ask you. So, is there plans? Obviously, they're going to add more Pokemon eventually. But
Yeah, it's very basic. Like, there's not a friends list, or you can't battle people directly other than through the gyms.
right. That's what I was saying. I think the next step is trading. Trading Pokemon would be like amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Remember
They're
when
gonna
you had to
that.
have
You're
those like
gonna have
connectors,
the
like
cables.
to
The cables between the Game Boys.
Yeah.
Game Boy Link cable.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have that. It's going to be awesome. It's a cool.
They'll
It's a,
add more generations, I'm sure.
yeah,
you know.
and like it was for me because I played it for like a second, and then I was like, I got the concept, and I'm not a huge fan of these games that have no end. You know what I mean? I like closure. I understand the draw of them. I think they're super cool, but just the simple fact that I was like, it's the real world, that blew my mind. And then I was like, this could get its claws in me. So I was like, turn off the phone. Like I know when it's like World of Warcraft. I never got into it because I was like, I know better. I know my
You know
own
it's gonna be
self.
time sync.
You're right. I know myself, and I know like I can't do that. I will literally lose like sleep. Family members will stop talking to me. I won't shower. It's like Skyrim is about the equivalent in Fallout. Like I stopped eating and showering. Like that's not a good idea. And this one is like, at least this one's like get away from other people. Like go out in the world and walk around. It's just gonna be zombies. Like staring at our phone, walking around.
But at least they're staring at their phone outside.
Exactly.
So that's cool. But like some news stories that popped up, like someone found a dead body in a river.
That's hilarious to
Yeah,
me.
so somebody was looking for a Pokemon walking around, got to like a river or a ravine or a ditch, I'm guessing.
A river,
and,
yeah.
and then they found a dead body in the river.
Yeah. Called the
Somebody
police,
on
obviously.
Jeez
on
Louise.
the local Las Vegas Twitters that I follow, somebody mentioned, no, don't do this in North Las Vegas.
Yeah, probably not a good
Yeah, there's
idea.
some areas you can imagine. That's what I was saying. There's because the way that the Pokemon are generated as far as the areas, there's some areas that contributors can do, I guess you were saying, or is it just the company?
Well, like the Pokestops and the gyms are all community sourced from the previous game Ingress.
Right.
So it uses the same locations as those.
That's so genius because essentially what you're doing is you're creating, it's community created content. That's like the most wonderful thing you
you
can
don't
do.
have to do the work.
Exactly. And you've got a huge community. So this is only going to get bigger and bigger, and it'll have cooler and cooler stuff.
And it's already insane right now. Like,
Yeah,
like I said,
so-
everyone's playing it. It's great. I recommend go checking it out.
Your sister's playing it a lot, right, Sarah?
Yeah, so this is the thing about
knocking it out of the park. Way better than I
Pokemans to me.
Pokemans.
Pokemans is I never got into it because I thought this was for kids because my little sister and
How dare you?
and my siblings, they were into it.
Yeah.
So I just assumed it was for little kids. So I never understood
But you were a
anything
little
about
kid
Pokemon.
when it came out.
No, I wasn't.
96. How old were you?
96. I was 10. That is not a little
She's
kid.
an
Yeah.
adult. She had a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're a
basically.
girl. I was a kid at 10. How do you not consider yourself a kid at 10?
No, I have not been a kid since I was like 8 years old. Okay?
Anyways,
Like,
so
so I never like got into it, but I think this idea is really cool. Like that's genius. And yes, my sister she's really been doing some work on this. She's
I see on Facebook
She's
all the
quite a
time she's
few.
posting.
She's doing way better than I am.
So this is Nintendo's kind of, well, not Nintendo, but I mean it's obviously Nintendo is the idea behind. Everyone knows Pokemon's associated with Nintendo. This is kind of a big stepping stone for them on mobile, right?
Well, people are always like, Nintendo, come out with a Mario game, come out with a Zelda game on your phone. Like,
your
you're
phone,
dumb not to do this. And since they came out with the
and I think they
Miitomo game we talked about, that
Yeah.
was their first mobile venture that we talked about previously a few months ago. They already have a Fire Emblem game coming out and an Animal Crossing game, which Animal Crossing probably fits this perfectly.
Yeah, anything that you can. It's one of those games where it's real quick, bite-sized gameplay where you could do it
easy
anywhere.
for microtransactions. You make a crap ton of money off this.
Right.
But I can only imagine with the stock bump and all that stuff that this will only make them push
There's gonna be
for more.
More pressure on
Which is amazing for
the
us
board of
fans.
directors to do it.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, I can understand their hesitation because their handheld market is doing very well. That's probably the only thing that's actually at this current stage keeping them.
Oh yeah, the 3DS does
in the
way
black.
better than the Wii U. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else other than?
Yeah, so I got that. Oh, weekly Overwatch news, guys.
Oh,
Yes.
here we go.
Here
Got
we
a
go.
new shirt. That's it.
Okay.
If you're watching YouTube, you can see my cool shirt. It's got all 21
There's
heroes.
some news. They said they teased a new character.
Oh, they did tease a new character.
On
A
Twitter.
support sniper is what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Like you could shoot healing things at people, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. See, that's why the game's cool. It's gonna have that Ratchet and Clank like cool because they all have like weird
Weapons
and stuff, and you can be fantastical about it. That's
Exactly.
super cool.
So no, I'm not going to stick to
Man.
it.
I kept playing it. I like it. I still haven't played it probably as much as you and the crew have played, but it's
The crew.
It's fun, but it's I don't know. It's again, it's that double-edged sword. It's like going to Cheesecake Factory. There's too much to order. There's too many heroes, and then
But with Cheesecake Factory, just like this game, you find 1, 2, or 3 good,
Yeah.
solid dishes. or
Jambalaya.
heroes.
The chicken marsala.
Pasta Da Vinci.
Pasta Da Vinci. Yeah, you go with that.
But you just find your 2 or 3 solid heroes, and you just play with those 3 every time.
Yeah, but then that becomes kind of that's the problem. Is like I like the variety. It's an internal thing.
Yeah,
I like
double-edged
variety,
sword,
but
so-
I don't want too much variety.
Yeah.
It's like this super
Make
sweet.
up your mind.
I
yeah.
know.
So other than that, let's see a couple of things I wanted to mention. SGDQ is going on
Tell me, okay.
right now.
no
I
one
think it
knows
actually
that.
ends by the time
You can't.
the podcast came, so.
Not everybody hangs out with you, buddy. What does that mean?
Yeah.
SGDQ stands for Summer Games Done Quick.
Okay.
It's an annual thing that happens every. Hey, don't
Let me
roll
guess,
your
is it on
eyes.
Steam?
No, this isn't a game.
Oh, that's the.
This is the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A bunch of people get together every year and stream a bunch of video games, and these are games from every single generation, every platform you can think of, and they speedrun these games. They do it all for Doctors Without Borders.
Right. They do another big one. Is it called Child's Play?
Yeah, Child's Play is another one.
That's another big one where a bunch of like famous streamers, Twitch personalities, YouTube gaming personalities stream their gameplay.
Right.
And people watch it, and sometimes they're funny, but in this case, they're actually doing they're trying to speedrun games.
Yeah, and they do this every year.
Usually it's like a marathon is usually the idea with
Exactly.
Child's
It's a
Play.
whole
but with
week. I think it ends. Well, this might end actually by the time this podcast comes out. But they always do it for Doctors Without Borders, and as of last night, they've raised $760,000.
That's awesome.
So a hair more than what we raised.
Stop it.
Just a hair more.
Just a hair more.
But and they're just a bunch of nerds playing video games
And
for
it's actually
a good
interesting
charity.
to watch. You told me when we were playing
Well,
the game.
Yeah, last night. What time was it? Like 11 at night. They were doing an Ocarina glitchless run as quickly as possible, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool. But then they did the glitch showcase after that to show all the cool glitches that are in the game.
That don't really help with speed. They're just weird glitches.
Yeah,
right?
it's just unique stuff. That's just really cool that these guys have found out through hours and hours of playing these games. It's just crazy what kind of weird stuff they find.
I was watching a speed run of, I believe it was Elder Scrolls Morrowind, the third one.
Oh yeah, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah, and I was watching that, and it was just insane. He's like, grab the key here, move out. Okay, then you drop the key, pick it back up. The guard doesn't see you. It doesn't matter. You can steal it.
Yeah.
And it's just because one guy's playing it, the other guy's commentating. So
He
it's
has to concentrate.
yeah, it's really fascinating. And the way that they walk, they don't walk normal. They walk it's just weird. It's weird to watch. It's
like Zelda. You always do
Backflips.
rolls or backflips,
right, because it moves just a little bit quicker.
Just a little, just to shave milliseconds off your record time.
Yeah, and it's cool because remember we talked about when we always talk about speedruns. There's those moments where everyone in the room gets quiet because it's kind of a concentration. Then everyone kind of picks.
And
back
when they
up
pull it off the glitch, everyone's gets all excited. Woo!
yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's
Sarah.
it's celebrating nerddom.
What?
If it wasn't, I understand what you're thinking, but it's going for it's charity. Yeah.
That's the cool
that's
part.
Fine.
That is the
That
cool
is
part.
the
And I
cool
know a
part,
bunch of
yeah.
famous streamers who aren't even on. Aren't participating, are streaming it through theirs to just bring awareness to it. So it's really cool.
Lyric is a big streamer I watch, and he hosts SGDQ every year.
So very cool. So you're watching that. Anything else?
One last thing, David, you can probably chime in on this, but Halo Firefight came out last week.
Yes.
Or a couple weeks ago.
Excellent.
And we played it. It's very cool. It's PvE, so if you're not a big fan of the PvP stuff because you're terrible like David.
Hey, you're not that great either. We're neither of us are that great. I'm
better
usually
than
like
you.
a hair better than me, which is we're both at second to bottom and bottom.
Once
No.
they get going, give me a few games.
I know,
and
sure.
I can
That's okay.
But anyway, yeah. So it's PvE. It's just like it's technically Firefight Warzone. So if you're familiar with the other Warzone modes, you can still use your Rex and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But we're playing against AI. But it's very
It's
fun.
tough, man. Like,
Yeah, I did mention it's some of it. I feel like we played a few games, right?
Yeah.
And the first one was like they only give you like a minute and a half for the last boss. And you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And you lose.
but it's time.
But the
like,
second game we played, we wiped the boss. Like it was super easy.
yeah, I think you have to have a good balance of other good players too,
Yeah.
and then also I remember Firefight. It used to be like waves of difficulty, so it was like easy, medium, hard,
Yeah,
hard,
this definitely
hard,
isn't
hard.
as
This
long
is like
as the old ones used to be.
this is kind of like hard from the get go. You can't go in and try to like be Liam Neeson. You're gonna get wrecked.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to work. You've got to work in kind of concert. You got to
Together,
flank. You've got to do certain things. But it's a ton of fun because of it's Halo, which I love. But it's that freedom of just constantly being. You're all working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
you
so
definitely
much
still
more
wanna-
fun. I enjoy
You're still
that.
competing with each other in
Yeah,
terms
'cause
of
you-
the score and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get better prizes if you're higher. But yeah, you're all working together to defeat these bosses. Because regardless of how well you do, if you lose, everybody loses. You know what I mean?
Right,
So.
and it's like I said, it's a ton of fun. It's difficult, and I like the maps that they've made for this because they're unique. I think to this particular.
They're kind of like old Warzone maps, other Warzone maps,
But
but
they're-
they're like pieced together kind of.
yeah, and
just to
sometimes
fit this mode.
you'll be kind of the attacking party. You'll be the party that like something will be defended and you got to go and take it over. Or which I actually enjoy more is like the defending one.
You gotta defend.
They're coming from all different waves, and you're like trying to run down the stairs. Like, no, can't go downstairs. Go upstairs.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
yeah.
can't go upstairs. We're screwed. It's just a lot of fun. You get all the vehicles and stuff too.
Like, I just spawned a Banshee and they're all inside. What the heck am I gonna do with this thing?
It's so much fun. It's made Halo so much more fun, and the payout of like the rec system of getting points so you can buy better vehicles throughout that game seems like it's rewarding you to keep playing. I've
Well,
always hated the games that are like, hey, they treat the gameplay as grinding, and they don't. You have to either be extremely good at it or you have to pay money to get like, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
So facilitate having fun, however
almost-
that's required. If
And
it's
after we played, the amount of rec packs that we got, I'm like, we got 3 rec packs. I mean, I did pretty well. I wasn't number 1. I got like 3 packs. There's been some rumors. They don't release official player counts, but that it's dropped a lot. So I'm almost thinking like maybe they adjusted that when Firefight came out. Like give you more packs to keep people playing.
Yeah, they should. I mean, it's just let's have fun.
Yeah.
It's against the enemy, so it's like there's a competition, but it's just fun to like. It's hard. It's not easy. Like you can, if you're good at Halo, you're probably not going to die that much. But if you're, if you get like 3 enemies on you, like good chance you're probably going to get taken out unless you're,
Yeah, if you suck.
Jason Bourne.
But yeah, so other than that,
It's awesome. I really enjoy the Halo
pretty
Firefight.
much it. David, what you doing?
Okay, so other than Halo Firefight, which I've enjoyed, this is how I know I enjoy it because I play it even after you leave. I like keep playing. Usually I'm like, if I'm not playing
Not
with
just
friends.
that, but you want to keep playing after we talk about it on the show or something.
Yeah,
You wanna keep
exactly.
playing.
A couple things. One thing that I did this week is we talked about this game or software. It's called Tabletopia. It's board games that are a digital version of it. Me and Gerald played a game that's not out. It was on Kickstarter. Went buku crazy. It's made by Stonemaier Games. It's called Scythe. And it's what they would traditionally call a 4X game. Exploration, exploitation.
Sorry, did the Kickstarter fund the digital version of this game or
No.
a real physical?
No, a physical version
Oh,
of the
thank
game,
God. Okay.
which will come out in August.
You should get it.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's like it's comes with a lot of pieces. But normally 4X
never stopped
games.
him before.
I know. It's demonstrated from behind me. No, I'll probably pick it up. I love Stonemeier's games. They make really good components. Originally, I think they were a manufacturer that made like upgrade components for other games. So their components are always out of this world. But this game has this 4X idea behind it. But normally 4X games like Twilight Imperium, there's a whole bunch of other ones like Eclipse. There's a whole bunch of these other games. They're grandiose, they're big, they're time consuming, and they're complex, right? For just the sake of being complex. I mean, that's the whole idea is like, like a 4X game kind of is.
Yeah, like a video game. Yeah.
Like Star Wars Rebellion or Civilization. It's, there's battling, there's resource management, there's territory control, there's all these
Some
things.
kind of like internal government, like thing.
Yeah, so there's and you're keeping track of multiple different things. Yeah, you're worrying about culture, you're worrying about population, you're worrying about resources. But for some reason, this game is like smooth. Like
I feel like when you were going over the rules, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is gonna be a super heavy hours game.
Yeah,
and it definitely we're not done with the game. We didn't finish playing.
That's actually I'll get into the Tabletopia version of it, but yeah,
the Tabletopia version. But I feel like once we got the hang of it after a few turns, you're like, oh. This isn't like
the board makes sense. It's one of those games where like there's a whole bunch of pieces in front of you on your player board, and as you pick up the piece to put into the game onto the game board, it indicates when you lift it up, it indicates something underneath that now you must pay because you've gotten an extra resource. So like let's say you put or a benefit or something like that. It's very straightforward. It seems like a lot, but once you get everything on the table and once you get everything set up, you're like, and you like take a couple turns, you're like, I get it. This is so smooth, and that's hard for a 4X game to do. Normally, it's like, okay. What is it? I can't remember. Let me look at the rule book. And like, there wasn't that much going on.
Yeah, when we started doing the rounds, there was a little bit of that. Like, oh, hold on a second. But like, once we got the flow of it, it definitely started going. And it's like, the theme of it is like right up my alley.
It's the idea is it's the 1920s. I'm guessing after World War I. And it's like this, in East Europa. So it's Eastern Europe. And all these different factions are vying for, kind of area control, but it's got mechs, like, giant mechs, like think of, like Transformers.
But it's not futuristic, but it's like,
it's in the 1920s, yeah.
Yeah, but what's like my...
Your Rushfit's Union, so it's like the Russian Union, and he has like, so you have a character.
My main character is a tiger with like this hot chick with a gun.
Yeah,
cool.
And then like it's cool, and it has worker placement game mechanics to it because you're trying to get resources. It has some combat. It's not really focused on combat that much, and then you've got a lot of making sure people are popular, that people like your faction. So like if you go and attack other factions, your popularity goes down because they start spreading bad rumors about you. So it's a good game because it encourages aggressive behavior at certain times, but then it encourages kind of passive. Being efficient, creating this really great engine. It's so much fun because of the fact that it has every turn is like a great, awesome, meaty decision, and every turn feels like, I love games where it's like, would you like cake or would you like pie? Each decision is awesome. It's like, perfect. Okay, I get to do something fun every single turn. And
there really isn't other than what your opponent's doing, there really isn't a drawback to what your... Other than the resource you have to pay, but that's really anything.
Right, but yeah, if you have to pay something to get an even cooler benefit, get more mechs, and then like you get special abilities as you go through the game. And I like when you upgrade something, not only do you unlock a cooler thing to do, you also make another thing that was expensive less expensive. So it's like this double awesome. It's just super cool. The artwork's great.
It's rewarding no matter what you're doing.
And since this game, what Tabletopia allows a lot of publishers and designers to do is when they have a Kickstarter version of the game, they can create a digital version on this software, and then people can actually play the game to see if they want to back the physical version of the game. That's genius.
Is that how they do that?
That's how they facilitate that. It's really smart. Smart. But the game comes out, I believe, the physical version in August or September of this year. I cannot recommend enough people to pick it up because it's so simple. It's a game that is normally reserved for like only the people who play board games would play this. But I think if you slowly introduce this to somebody, explain the rules in an easy way, and played a couple rounds, they would get it.
Yeah, definitely.
They might not win their first game, but I think they would enjoy the process. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. So we're playing the Tabletopia version, which is the digital version of it, which I really enjoy because at any time we can stop, pause essentially the game, and then come back to it. Because this game takes a little bit of time.
Midnight on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we have to stop.
To work the next day.
Exactly. But it's just cool too because it still maintains the feel of the game. You get to look at the board. It's all 3D.
Are really cool.
Yeah, it's very very cool.
Pieces.
And all the artwork is high res, so it looks great. And then of course because Stonemaier Games, the designer and publisher, worked with Tabletopia to make it, so it's like it's got all of the good things.
It's not like Tabletop Simulator is great, but it's one of the things where you're like some unknown person's looking at pictures, and what if they didn't scan it in correctly, or they scanned it in the wrong language, and
or you have to upload a photo.
The pieces look like crap because they didn't have a correct 3D render or something weird like
that. So this looks really good, and like everything is just smooth. Like that's all I can think about with that game. Smooth.
But you can't flip the table.
Yeah, that's true. You can't flip the
table. Boo.
But it's a lot of fun. So that's what we played. We're going to finish it. I'm going to start doing some streams and stuff like that. I think actually this week I'll do some streams with the designers of board games. Should be fun.
Here we go.
And then we'll pick up with cool. Me and Gerald. We'll do that. The other thing that I was doing, speaking of board games, I played a new game with my family. It's called Kingsburg. It's a worker placement game, but you use dice, which is a little bit different. Normally in a worker placement game, everyone has a certain little like meeples, and you have different areas on the board where you put your little meeple and it does something and gives you something. So maybe you go to the gold or the fields and you get wheat or something like that, right? In this game, you roll dice, and then based on the combination of dice you rolled, you can go see one of
Yahtzee. Oh.
No, not necessarily. The idea here is that there's this king, and he's building out his kingdom, and he has advisors, like different advisors, like maybe the stonemason or the princess, or all these different people, and each of one of those players. Stone Maester? What did I say? Meister?
No, I'm saying does it have maesters?
I think so. There's a Maester. There's a whole bunch of different. There's the blacksmith and all this stuff, and they have a number next to them, like from 1 all the way up to 18. Okay. You roll 3 dice, and then you, on your turn, can combine your dice, and they have to be exactly the number that you're going to get something from that person. So let's say you're going to go to the princess. The princess is like 14. So you can use like 3 dice to go there, because you only have, 14. There's no way to get 14 without up to 3 dice. And then you get it, but it blocks anybody else. But let's say I have a 6, and a 3, right? So I could go to 12 and still have that 3 left over.
To go to the lesser, you can do like more lesser things or one
big
awesome
thing. Yeah. And so, you start blocking people because like, okay, I see that you have a 3 left and I have a 3 and I get to go before you. And if I put a 3 on the 3 dice on the 3 spot, you're screwed. You have to pass. And then you're building stuff as you get resources, and you build your kingdom up. You get little castles and, different blacksmiths and guard towers. And then it has a season track. So at the end of every round, winter is coming. That's what we kept saying, because winter is the last one. And that's when bad guys come and you have to try to defend your kingdom. And if you don't,
then together, or like each person has their own kingdom?
Each person has their own little kingdom. And you're building buildings, you're going to the advisors, you're rolling dice. It's a lot of fun because of the choice. Normally in worker placement games, and this isn't always, but there always kind of feels like that's where you should go. Especially like the first few turns. It's like, well,
I'm
this
obviously going to get the one that gives me the resources right off the bat, or the more workers right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. This one, because of the combination of dice and how you can combine them. So like a 6, and a 3 could be 12, a 9, a 3, a 6, and then nothing else. Or, you can do, and then there's other things that give you additional, you can go 1 higher or 1 lower. There's different things that you could do throughout the game. It's super, super fun. It's streamlined, and it's a lot of fun. So I can't recommend it enough. I love it. I played it with my family, which is like, that's like the essence of a good game. Like if you could play,
can tolerate it.
Yeah, if they can, and the rule book is not long, it's easy to play, a fantastic game. So pick that up. It's called Kingsburg. All right. Now that we got through what you doing, let's talk about a couple things. We'll get into the Shark Week thing. We were supposed to do a standard review. I'm going to air out some dirty laundry. Get off my lawn, Gerald.
I'm sorry, David.
All right, we talked about we're supposed to do a standard review.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, exactly. It's all Pokemon's fault. Pokemango.
I really was dirty.
I'll
Busy
tell you.
this week.
No, he was dirty too.
Whoa, all right. After Dark podcast.
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Sure.
Take a shower, Gerald.
Yeah.
So normally we're supposed to do a sit-down standard review every week of something that me and you enjoyed. And this week, Batman vs. Superman Extended Edition, or Ultimate Edition came out. And we were supposed to both watch it. Gerald made me watch it. Well, Gerald didn't make me watch it, but he's like, watch this. It's 3 hours long. It's half an hour longer.
Okay, this was my plan for this. I wanted to redeem some listeners out there. Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie. You know who you are.
Criticized our review
of
Batman vs. Superman because we stomped on it because it is a terrible movie. So when this came out, there's 30 minutes or ish of new footage
and
that
it's
supposedly...
quote, rated R.
Yeah, it's rated R. So that's supposed to tie some of the plot holes together and all that kind of stuff. And I still want to watch it.
And I watched it. I rented it and watched the stupid thing off of iTunes. So I'll tell you what I think.
No, you didn't. But so David, please tell us if they're right, if this really does make the movie a better movie. It's not going to make it. It's not going to take it from a 0 to a 10. But, does it make the movie better? Would you rate it differently?
The answer is yes. It does make the movie better. And I have a couple things that actually personally change the movie. One is I saw it in 2 sittings. That helps. And I'm not.
What's 3 hours?
No, I know, but I'm saying like Lord of the Rings, I remember loving the movies in the theater, but watching it on DVD at home where I could pause it and take a second actually makes it a better experience. Now, I know you can't do that in a theater, so that's inevitably not the theater's fault.
Bring back intermissions.
No, honestly, why? Why not? Why not say we're going to say...
Yeah, I missed a really good part of Captain America because I had to use the restroom so bad because that movie was like almost 3 hours
and that's
long.
my point. And I think, plays do it, but they still do it. Mm-hmm. High school plays, professional plays, Broadway does it. Like people still do it. Concerts do it. They take breaks. You know what I mean? I don't understand why that's not acceptable at all for movies.
It's difficult because you got to like, okay, we got to plan. You're not going to like end it on a high note or anything. You got to make it in the middle of a lull.
Well, that's what, no, you do. You go a little bit longer. You do the third act is the final, usually is where you do the intermission.
Did we
the
recently
resolution.
see a movie? Oh, Hateful Eight had an intermission, right? In the middle of it, didn't it? Yeah.
Interesting. See?
But that's Quentin. That's like his thing. Is like,
Yeah, but I'm saying, okay, but I digress.
Yeah.
The movie is better. That's one reason is that I got to watch it in 2 sittings. And then 2 is I don't know if they went back and changed some of the dialogue as far as, the volume of the dialogue and the mixing of the audio. It's easier to hear things.
Oh, that's good.
For instance, when Bruce Wayne at the very beginning falls down that well and he's doing a voiceover, from about when he was a kid and his family died and, he falls down that well.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know.
His parents die.
There's probably about 30 different like scenes that are different now. Some of them are like seconds and some of them are minutes long. So when they say like 30 extra minutes, it's not really like 30 minutes of a scene. It's like added up very, very minuscule.
That makes it, some of these things could possibly make a difference.
And so anyways, the voiceover when he's talking, when the bats lift him up, sounds better. When Flash comes through, the time portal and talks to Bruce Wayne in his sleep, quote unquote, asleep, I hear it. It is far clearer. Now,
oh my God. I remember when I watched the movie, I was like, what did he say?
Yeah, everyone was like, what? What?
And he this is what he actually says. I came too soon. Oh, I'm too soon. I'm too soon. No, but
Sarah, get your mind
Jesus. I know, but he's talking about, because he tells her Lois is the key, right? We kind of heard that, and you were right. And then Batman's looking at him like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, I came too soon. You don't know what I'm talking about, right?
That makes so much more sense.
Right. Okay. That's one thing. And I'm going to spoil some stuff here. So if you really do want to go see the Ultimate Edition, but here's the big, I have like 4 or 5 things that I think should have been in the movie. Absolutely should have been in the movie. The very first scene, the Civil War in, I think it's Nairobi. I think it's actually the when Lois Lane shows up in the desert and she's talking.
He saves her. Right?
Okay, there's a longer discussion between her and the war chief, I think is what he was called or whatever, the person who is the bad guy in that scene, about the U.S. government's involvement in this Civil War. And he talks about, it's so foreshadowing the whole movie. It's about, he says, ignorance is not innocence. And it's about this idea that like, you have to choose a side. You can't just play the middle. That's what this whole movie's about. Choosing sides.
Right.
And not trying to, you can't stand still. Okay.
You can't play for both teams. Kind of.
Right. And she says, well, the U.S. government isn't involved. And he's like, sure, they're not. Well, you come to find out they are involved because as soon as, Jimmy Olsen is gunned down, which again, Jimmy Olsen has like a short little interaction.
CIA agent.
He's a CIA agent, gets gunned down. As soon as he dies, it cuts to like the U.S. government, like, oh, one of our operatives just got killed. And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to send in our team to go. He's like, oh, the S hit the F. We got to go save Lois. And so there's this crew of people that are far away from that compound and they're running towards them. And they're like, no, don't go. We're just going to send a drone and blow it all up. They're like, but we have an operative in there. We have Lois. Which I don't think she knows she's an operative. She's...
Yeah, well, she didn't know he was CIA.
Right, exactly. And so they're like, nope, doesn't matter. They send a drone to go and just bomb this, right? And this sets up the whole plan. Superman, knowing Lois is there, right, destroys the drone as soon as it shoots out a missile. So now Superman has destroyed the missile that was supposed to kill all those people, the bad guys, quote unquote, blows up the drone, and then, you remember we were like, why does everybody think Superman killed all those people? Because he doesn't shoot anybody. They burn the bodies. They burn them to a crisp, which you wouldn't be able to identify that people were shot. They burn the heck out of them. And then they get out. The bad guys, that's the KG Beast. The guy with the tattoo on his neck.
Oh, okay.
So he burns all the bodies. And that's like, that makes sense. Superman's heat vision. He blew up the drone. It looks like he's trying to basically be this foreign, getting in mess that he shouldn't have, just to save Lois, right?
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. That gives context to why, because the whole time I'm like, Superman doesn't shoot people. Why do they think Superman killed them? But the burned bodies make a lot more sense.
And that's funny because like the review I've heard of this is just like, why did they cut this?
No, and I know why. There's certain things
some things are obvious.
There's a lot more violence in that scene. Like there's some straight up gun battling, and they want to keep it PG-13. So there's some of that, but like burning bodies is pretty. But
like
pretty
plot
bad
stuff, it's like.
They had to make cuts. The movie was already long. And so that's one thing that I think they should have kept in, and it does change it changes the.
But I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen the Ultimate Edition yet, but I feel like watching the original edition, there's so many things I would have cut in that. And this seems like a very integral thing to understand the plot of that.
Yeah.
Cut the stupid Jolly Rancher scene. Leave this.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I
Jolly
mean?
Rancher scene's so bad.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's just undeniably bad in this movie.
But anyway,
okay,
continue.
the bat branding. Remember when you get a bat brand, it pretty much is a death sentence when you go to the prison.
Yeah.
Well, it shows that that's part of Lex's plan. This is all part of Lex's plan, which actually plays up like how the plan, some of the fun things about a bad guy is seeing the execution of his plan. What's that contraption? What is it called? The contraption, the ball falls, it falls down.
Goldberg machine.
Goldberg machine. You see it in action. That's fun, even when it's against the heroes. He gets somebody to go in and kill the people that have bat brands on them. He tells prisoners to go kill the people. Lex does. He gets his goons to go tell people in prison, go kill this person. So that it fits the narrative that if you get bat branded, he's judge, jury, and executioner.
Okay.
That furthers Superman's idea that he's acting outside the bounds of decency and law. When in reality, prisoners aren't killing the people that are bat branded. Lex is he's paying off prisoners to go kill people with bat brands.
To set that
precedent idea in Superman's head. Genius. 2, the truth about the witness that talks about she's from Naomi and she's like, oh, my family was killed when the government came in and this is all Superman's fault. You find out Lex threatened her, paid off her. That's huge. And she was completely
Why cut
lying.
that? Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. And then they go, they tie up loose ends and they end up, killing her.
Yeah.
Because that makes more sense, right? It plays up the story that she didn't hate Superman. She was being threatened to say all those things. And she had a script written by Lex. Here is probably the single most, I don't understand why they didn't put this in. Because it redeems Superman to some extent. The U.S. Congress scene, chair blows up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me they added something.
They did. They added 2 important things. So,
Lois could have cut that.
I actually like that scene where she's like freaked out and she looks in and she's like,
but
what
why does it take 5 minutes for her to turn and look it up?
So here's the thing. We all were like, oh, that guy hates Superman. The guy in the wheelchair,
Yeah.
the guy who lost his legs.
Guy from *Halt and Catch Fire*, builds computers.
Exactly.
Oh,
He talks to, Lois Lane doing some good detective work because she's a reporter, goes to the guy's house after the death and everything. And she's looking around his apartment. After the explosion and looks around his apartment and is like, there's clearly this guy's insane. He's got like the Carrie Matheson like things on the wall, all the cardboard or the newspaper cutouts and like written in red blood and there's Superman crap everywhere and he's crazy. Then she looks around his kitchen and she picks up an orange and then she opens up his fridge and it's full of food and she's like, he didn't know he was going to die. That's a huge plot point.
That makes way more sense.
Lex didn't tell him he was going to use him as a bomb.
Yeah.
That changes the story. Second, after the scene, that blow-up scene, Lois does some digging. She has this friend who's not in the movie at all. She's like a forensic, like CSI person who finds out that the bullet is made of unique metal. Well, so was the chair. And the chair was lead-lined. So Superman couldn't see the bomb. That changes up Superman's idea of like, did I not see it because I didn't want to see it?
Yeah.
You couldn't see it. That changes the movie.
That's huge.
That changes the arc of Superman because she's like, that's why he didn't see it. She even says it out loud, which is kind of like, we all like, you don't.
We get it, Amy Adams.
Yeah, exactly. That's. I don't understand. I know there's other things that they definitely put in. There's more blood, like the Batman scene, where he's in the warehouse. There's like when he throws that box against that person and their head hits the wall, huge blood splatter like,
instead of nothing.
And then there's like a part with a knife and he like sticks it in a guy. Like it's a lot more brutal, which is fine. I get it. Don't put that in because it was.
Yeah, but Deadpool did so good rated R, so we're gonna make it rated R.
No, I know. Well, I think this was filmed before Deadpool.
Too,
but anyways,
wasn't there another scene you were talking about?
What?
Well, that made it R.
Oh, well, you see some bat butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole shower scene with Ben Affleck.
I will be watching that later.
Just pause it right here. Let me see his butt.
The other thing that I thought was not necessary, but it does lend the fact of, remember we talked about, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know why you're still listening, Death of Superman, right at the end.
Yeah.
They show some scenes of Metropolis. During his funeral, the streets of Metropolis are empty, completely empty, which basically means everybody in Metropolis is at this funeral. It lends gravitas to the idea of like how much he mattered. And like in the comic books, it's a huge deal. Like every superhero across the universe comes to Superman's funeral. Like it's a big deal. And this kind of shows that. And then what's even more important is the funeral for Clark Kent. They don't show this, but like they show all these characters from Man of Steel and they show all this potluck, all of these, casseroles being put on the Kent table at their kitchen. And it shows like how important Superman was to everybody of Metropolis and the world, but also how important Clark Kent was as a Kansas farm boy.
Right.
Like, I'm getting goosebumps. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah, I really feel like that scene, you didn't really get that.
You didn't get any Kent stuff. It was also
yeah.
Yeah, and I get why they cut it. There's some parts that are like really stupid, like Martha Kent's walking away and she's like, "Oh, I got to get my checkbook out to pay for all the funeral." And they're like, "Oh, an anonymous donor paid for it." It's like, yeah, we know Bruce Wayne paid for it. We get it. He's rich.
Yeah.
It's just like stupid stuff. I'm like, good, cut that out. That's garbage. But it's just they don't cut anything out, which there's some stuff I think they could have cut out of the
Jolly
movie.
Rancher scene.
Well, there's
The piss jar.
the CCTV footage.
Remember he like puts these like.
He's like, I want
It's
the body.
cherry.
I want the body of Zed. I want access to the ship. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we could do that. You shouldn't have any barriers as a villain. Like, you should get everything you want so we can move this along. It's like you have to have some
It's
resistance.
Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, like pushes a Jolly Rancher. She's like, here you go, it's cherry or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
and it's weird.
That would creep
You
me
get a
out,
little
too.
bit. There's a little bit too also about Lex Luthor's dad. There's some couple lines which actually play an interesting fact into how Lex, Batman,
Wait,
and
his dad's in this?
no,
Oh.
it's dialogue about his father.
Oh, okay.
He talks about like, oh, you're the Lex of LexCorp, and he's like, no, he said that so he said that to investors because they would cut checks. That I named the company after my son. Like, no, he's the Lex before the Corp.
Okay.
And it's things like that. But it shows like there's some broken. Obviously, it's interesting to note the relationships that Superman, Batman, and Lex Luthor have with their father, and this comes up with the whole God idea and the father and the son and all that stuff. And it's subtle, and it's not necessary for this movie because that's the problem with this movie. It wants to tell a big story, which Zack Snyder's always about, and I
Always
applaud
big
him.
picture.
I always applaud that, but that has to be done in subtle ways. But the movie then watching again. There's a part when they're on that island and they're just like throwing dudes. It's just this giant explosion. It's like this is so just. It's just so weird.
I saw a supercut on YouTube of someone edited all the time as Batman is killing people, and it's hilarious.
And that's and again, watching it, like I said, I think it's a better movie, but I think it has a lot more to do with the experience of watching it in a theater and then watching it in two sittings with headphones on. I can hear things better, and also I don't know if it's just because I didn't enjoy the movie the first time. I liked it more this time. I actually enjoyed the movie more than I did when I went to
Minus
the
all
theater.
the other stuff.
Oh. Yeah, and I think
Like if you watched the regular version again, you'd enjoy it
no,
more.
I don't think that because I can't unsee it, so I would just know what wasn't there. It's just I understand there's certain choices that he makes, and every second matters in these movies. I know that, but there's certain things I'm like, you should have left that in because it explains something, or it. But the problem I have with this movie, which is the biggest problem of, in my opinion, of this universe, is just the morose, moody, no fun. And I get that you're going for that, but it's like.
Well, the room was they've done a ton of reshoots for Suicide Squad to lighten up the movie.
They have to because
of
it's, you're trying to you're fitting a square peg into a round hole, and I applaud you for trying to tell a different story. But then like some of the best scenes of this movie are like, honestly, I know it's cheesy, but it's like the scene where it's like, oh, I'm friends with your son. She's like, I guess the cape. Like it's you have to have some levity, otherwise your movie's just Schindler's List. Like you have to have levity to have darkness.
And that's fine in the Holocaust, but when it's superheroes and comics and stuff,
And I maybe I'm wrong in that, and I know people really love it. And I honestly love watching these characters. Like the scene with the Trinity, Batman's got the gun, and Superman's like this, and she's got the shield, Wonder Woman, and the sword, and the. Like I'm
her music, her
I'm
theme.
like, let's go. Like, and I love that. Like, it gets me hyped. I watched that and I was just like, go get him. Like, I know you're gonna like what's gonna happen, but I'm like, just go get him. Somehow win this time. I want Wonder Woman to cut off his head and just be like, I took care of it, guys. Like, it's just awesome. So,
interesting.
For me, it goes from a thumbs down to a thumbs to the side. It's a
Really?
better movie now.
That's a lot,
because it
David.
explains, it foreshadows certain things, and it shows why so many people would be questioning Superman. Because I was always like, he saved the freaking world. But if like burnt bodies, like who burns bodies? Like terrorists don't burn bodies; they just shoot people, right? It's like it makes more sense. And then like the guy not knowing he was supposed to kill. Like I was like, he was so mad at Superman. He didn't want to kill him. He just wanted him to explain and like be held accountable. Like.
The Leatherline wheelchair makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
That is like
I don't just know who to blame. Is it did Zach cut this, or was it like studios like?
No, I think
listen,
that's
guys?
his. I think it's his movie. This is his version of the movie because it's not like cut scenes that
Is it
aren't
the director's
edited
cut?
with like the full like because you've seen like deleted scenes from movies and there you can see the low res like none
Yeah.
of the CGI is put on top of it. This all has that, so it's all there. Okay.
Zach, what are you doing?
that's our standard review of the week from just David this time. But go see it again. I'd be interested to know what people's opinion, if it's changed at all. Let us know. Comments down below or shoot us an email. Let us know. Okay, now we're gonna get to it. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Shark Week. That's why we have Sarah here. Either Disney or Sharks or Disney Sharks.
Disney Sharks. Bruce.
Fish our friends, not food.
Yeah.
So Shark Week was last week. It's June 26th to July 3rd, I think is what it was.
Yes.
If you don't know, this is a week-long programming event on Discovery Channel.
How are you American and not know?
Yeah, Shark Week's been going on for how long now?
1988.
Jesus.
Premiered in 1988. Is a week-long TV program. Fun fact. Did you know it is the longest running cable television program event in history?
Oh, wow.
Which I was like, 1988?
Over TGIF?
Yeah.
Remember TGIF?
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course I know TGIF. Broadcasted in over 72 different countries, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It had some controversy, because again, Discovery Channel has always kind of been, quote unquote, the boring channel. As a kid, it was boring. As an adult, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, unless you're that kid who really
But now
I
we're
was
adult,
that
and it's like,
kid.
this is the junk channel.
Like
where it's
back
like,
in the day, the Discovery Channel had a store, and it was actually right across
the
from
mall,
the Disney
right?
store. Yeah,
Yeah.
remember we were at the Boulevard Mall, and I was like, this used to be the Discovery Channel store, and I used to love this store, and I bought rocks here, and I bought my telescope here.
You call me a nerd, man.
Exactly. But they got into some controversy a few years ago. They made what are called, they call them docufiction, which is a embellished mockumentary type of, cause most of the time on Discovery Channel, they focus on not junk science. They focus on, a lot of like how it's made or, what is the history. It's, History Channel type of stuff. Again, doesn't help because it's kind of boring, unless you're into that stuff. And I now as an adult, I like it. As a kid, I was like, oh my God, science project. Like, this sucks. So in 2013, they came out with a docufiction called Megalodon. Is that
Yeah,
Megalodon.
Megalodon, which is like the like a dinosaur shark, right?
Yeah.
Gigantic shark.
It's out there or something like that.
Here's the sad part. They had some of their highest ratings. That was the highest watched.
I feel like after
year.
when that premiered, though, I remember like on Facebook afterward, it's like, Discovery, what are you doing?
Well, there was a big
Because they passed it off as real, and people
Right.
don't know.
and it's junk science, and a lot of the scientific community said you're manipulating viewers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist, and you're relying upon like stuff that's
And you
not-
know it doesn't exist, and I get it's entertaining.
But here's the problem: they had crazy ratings. That's our fault, right? Like this is reality TV. You know what I mean? Like we want to see something exciting. It's like
Yeah, but make a Megalodon movie, a
But this is-
cheesy cable movie. Don't make
Right.
don't make it into a documentary.
right, but and I think also Shark Week is kind of a sacred spot. This is probably their most popular week. So then in 2015, I think it was 2014, Rich Ross, he became the new president of Discovery Channel, and he basically said, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to do it for Shark Week, because we still want that money. It's
They
like,
did it for the Animal Planet and a documentary about mermaids. And people thought that was real. And it was like, no, that is not real. Like, but it was,
So they pass it
it
off,
was
dude.
right before he came in. So they've pretty much like
There's
stopped
too
that.
many stupid people in this world that will believe this.
right.
That's true.
The problem is like I said,
True.
the viewership went through the roof. That's really the problem is like you have to balance what is your role as the Discovery Channel and what is your role as a board of directors, a director on the Discovery
Yeah,
Channel.
because you're like, listen, guys, we need advertising money.
No,
we need money.
seriously.
And it's like, okay, yeah, but we're the Discovery Channel. It's like,
Well,
you got to find that balance.
You look at things like the Learning Channel, which has like some of the most crappy.
the Learning Channel. It's the worst. You don't learn anything from that.
That's my
channel.
point, and
Yeah.
it's because it's like MTV doesn't show music anymore. It's just a brand. It doesn't have much to do with
Exactly.
the programming that's on it. Now, I will say Discovery Channel probably is holding down the fort longer than most would.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
I would agree with
no,
that.
they used to be a lot more trash on that channel, but I think they're coming back ever since that guy became a CEO or whatever.
Rich Ross,
I think
yeah.
they're definitely coming back to that.
When I first
They
saw it,
still
I thought it
had-
said Rick Ross. I was like, Rick Ross owns the Discovery? Like, that would be amazing. But anyway,
But you still have, the building cars and all that stuff that has nothing to do with Discovery. Mythbusters is not anymore. They got canceled.
and
that
that's
was a bummer.
And one of the big things that they do is they actually have a host for usually the week-long events. This year and last year they had Eli Roth, which is kind of a weird choice.
Yeah.
Like, I get he does horror and, like, sharks are scary, but it's like, come on. Yeah.
But they had like the guy who's popular on YouTube. I think his name's Philip D'Amenco. He's a YouTube guy. He has like a channel and he talks about other YouTubers and different news and stuff like that. And they've had like the Mythbusters, the guys on there, Adam and can't remember the other guy's name. They
Jamie.
host. Yeah, they hosted it one year. So they usually they had like who's the guy who does dirt jobs or dirty jobs? What's his
Mike
name?
Rowe.
Mike Rowe hosted it. So they usually sometimes get their own celebrities, but they kind of been branching out and getting like other celebrities and other comedians and other host of other things.
Yeah,
to do it.
Kevin Hart did the Shark After Dark.
Really?
Yeah, so the Shark After Dark is kind of like The Talking Dead. They kind of recap some of the programming that they've shown. But this year they had some pretty interesting stuff. They obviously stayed away from
The fake
the
stuff.
docu-fiction, which I hate when we do that with words.
You know what's weird about Shark Week? It's weird, like recently, like Sci-Fi with their Sharknado movies will tie it in that kind of around the same time as Shark Week to get those viewers as well.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, well,
that's kinda funny.
there's a ton of shark
The
stuff.
Fourth Awakens.
Yeah, exactly. And like you have 7-Eleven who made like shark
Donuts and
like everything shark in the last week or
I
so.
bought like all the straws. There was like a cup that had like a shark that was like had its mouth open. I bought that cup and I'm all about it. I'll buy it.
No, before we, because we'll talk about a couple of these programs just in the some of the documentaries that they had. I just want to know, why do you like sharks so much, Sarah? What's your fascination with sharks?
As someone who doesn't want to get in a foot of ocean water because she's scared a piece of kelp is going to touch her leg.
Okay, listen. Listen, okay? The ocean is not for us. The ocean is for the fish and for all the other animals that live in there. We are like doing way too much. We've got like nuclear waste from Japan going into the waters.
Yeah.
We're spilling oil in the waters. We're overfishing. Listen, let's keep it, let's just stay out of the water, kids.
Yeah,
It's our planet. We're top
Yeah.
of the food chain. Do what we want.
but
Anyways, but okay, so I think what I like the most about sharks is I kind of feel like especially like the great white sharks, I kind of feel like and I'm not going to say I understand them, but I kind of feel
You
like
mind meld.
yeah, like I kind of feel like they're most of the time they're by themselves. I'm very like introverted. I'm very by myself most of the time, and
Gotcha.
You can be
They-
ferocious.
I can be ferocious sometimes, and
she eats her food like
They-
this.
sometimes and I don't know. I just maybe the whole thing like they're very kind of like sneaky and
Yeah, they are.
they
I feel like
you
they get a bad
can't-
rap.
they do
They're
definitely
the
get a bad
the
rap.
biggest predator in the ocean. Like
No, I know, but like you have like, shark fin soup and stuff. It's like just leave them alone. It's not even that good.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing about sharks is like they can't stop moving. Like they have to.
They're like that-
This sounds kind of corny, but they have to keep moving forward.
Yep.
They can't go
They
backwards.
have to just keep swimming.
They can't stop. They can't. If they stop, then they die.
Do you remember
and
that-
I kind of like. I live my life that way. I got to keep moving forward. I can't stop. I'll die. I can't go backwards.
Exactly.
Like,
Do you remember Mad TV, the UPS driver that couldn't stop moving? He's like, "Hey, here's your package, bro." Remember that guy? That is the human shark.
Oh my god, I forgot all about that.
His name
That's
is
funny.
Phil DeMar. He's great.
Yeah,
Okay, so the thing that I do like sharks. I like watching. Like I was really into Planet Earth. That thing that they did with
BBC,
BBC. Fantastic. See that if you have it. And some of the stuff with the shark is just like, oh my god. But it is. Sharks are terrifying. Like one of the few animals that like just an idle, which they can't be. I know, but you know what I mean. Just chilling. Look terrifying. Because this you could
like their teeth can't fit in their mouth. There's so many of them. You're
right.
Like, oh my
like,
god.
Here's an example. If you have a dog at home, if you have a pet dog, your pet's laying down on the side, looks fine. Just pull up their their mouth, and then they look like they're gonna murder someone. You just see their
Yeah.
teeth, the side of their teeth.
well, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen a pug's teeth, but
But you know what I mean. Like, but sharks have that's them on idle
the time,
Yeah,
right?
they're just constantly like, I'm gonna kill something.
No, they're smiling
know.
constantly, dude.
yeah,
No.
they're like hello.
And then it's always like it just seems like they have like food, like blood
Always
hanging
crap
off
in their teeth or something.
and it's just they're
prey.
they're awesome. I mean, they're awesome. They're fantastically cool looking, but they are just terrifying in their eyes. And it's just like, oh my god. And then they have like the most. It's like nightmare, and then like the nightmare of the nightmare. It's like, oh, then we made this hammerhead looking one that even looks more menacing, and then this giant whale one that's
Weird,
like
and yeah.
18 feet long. It's like, what crazy nightmare of a nightmare did you make? It's like, and this one has like a giant chainsaw that comes out of it or something. I'm like, they are not in short supply of being just looking the most grimacing and terrifying. Because like a bears, if they get up on their on their twos and they put their hands up and they look terrifying. But if they're just walking around docile,
Eating fish, yeah.
eating some salmon, they don't look, oh, look at the bear. Never have you been, maybe you have, but it's like, oh, look at that cute shark. It's like, oh my god, get out of the water.
Yeah, is there any other animal where just by itself, just doing its thing, it looks super scary?
There's not very-
Alligators?
no,
Really?
They look like dinosaurs. They kind of are, but
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some of the programming that went on. I watched a couple, and then you wanted to talk about let's talk about that one first. The Sharks versus Dolphins.
Amazing.
So there was
Amazing.
I didn't get a chance to watch this. So this is a documentary about the epic battle that's been ongoing that we didn't even know.
For eons.
Yeah. So it's basically just about, the different benefits that one has over the other. Obviously dolphins are a little bit faster, but then there's the mako shark that can keep up with them. And you don't understand like how crazy it is. Like they showed dolphins with just like whole sections missing. Like, and they're still swimming. Like whole sections just missing of them.
Like
it's
the biggest
insane.
title fight in the world.
Like it's crazy. And what I love is there's this one story during the show where this guy who he's kind of a researcher, but he mainly just he just goes scuba diving a lot. Yeah. And so he's been scuba diving in this one spot for like the past 18 years, and he's gotten to know this dolphin that's in the area pretty well, and he has a name for it and
Echo?
everything. And
sorry, it's a video game reference. Go ahead.
But so he's basically become friends with this dolphin, and there was like a little nursing shark that's not going to harm anybody, that wasn't coming up to him or anything.
Right.
And the dolphin tried to basically just keep it still because it knows that if it's still, then it dies.
Like held it down.
Yeah, it held it down
right?
What?
on the floor. And then once it saw that the shark was still moving, it was stuffing sand into its gills and was trying to present the shark to the...
See, dolphins aren't so friendly. They're not all flipper guys. They will hold you down and murder you.
And then he was like trying to present it to the diver, and the diver's like trying to like help it like move along. Yeah, and like he's trying to like move it away.
Reminds me of your
the
dog.
dolphin keeps on like bringing it back. And he's like, no, please keep swimming.
I don't know if you've ever had this with a pet dog, but a pet dog will like get a pigeon and then like shake it and then bring it to you, and you're like, my God.
My aunt had a cat who was like outdoors and stuff. Would always bring a lizard or a bird
and bring it to the
something.
doorstep.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, look what I got. And it's
I
just
got
like,
you, kids.
oh my God. You know what it's like? I didn't know that. Now, do dolphins that's crazy that they know how to, it's not just
well,
like.
they are already like
they're super smart, but it's just like. They know how to like go Dexter on them. It's like, what are you doing? It's like they cover it with plastic at the end. Oh my God.
I think that's what I love the most because it's so unsurprising. You know, unfortunately, in the world that we live in, dolphins are supposed to be seen as cute. They're supposed to be seen as
those
like
Lisa
show
Frank
animals.
covers, right?
Yeah,
isn't that
it's all
the
those
artist?
Lisa Frank covers.
The
It's,
rose
you
art.
see them at like SeaWorld and stuff
Trapper
like that.
keepers and
But
stuff.
they're so much more than that. And
Thanks for the fish.
It's amazing, like how. Like I said, they both have benefits over each other. It basically just comes down to size as far as who's going to win that particular fight.
So they're kind of like the same level of the food chain.
But yeah, they're pretty much
cool.
the same level. But
It's like brawn
amazing.
over brains though, because like sharks don't strike me because they look so terrifying. They might be really smart, and I think they probably are really smart. But dolphins,
Deep Blue Sea.
yeah,
They're really smart.
we're gonna get out of here. Anyway,
Yeah, so
shark-
they
shark
said that
ate me.
like sharks can they can recognize, and they have to recognize shapes.
Yeah.
Like in colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a dolphin is something that they recognize and they know. So they'll just
Eat them.
take a bite, and it's brutal.
So
That's
see,
cool,
this is
though.
the kind of cool stuff. Like that sounds interesting and exciting. The one that I had a chance to watch, and you watched it as well. It's called Sharks Among Us, and this has to do with a marine biologist who is trying to figure out a way for humans to live in the same, can go in the water and not be fearful of shark attacks, because shark attacks they're super rare, but they have gone up. And that is due to a lot of different things. One is that the sea lion population has gone through the roof because we've done, in a good way, we've done things to try to stop killing sea lions and
Ruining their habitats.
and
They
seals.
told Blake Lively to not swim in the water after dark. All right, she deserved it.
She did deserve it.
Right. So normally one of the things that it's like the standard thing that we would think of as human beings, just put up a net. Net will take care of it. The problem is that nets don't always work, and in fact what they end up doing is sharks get caught in them, and again, like you said, if the shark stops moving, it dies.
Like, we're not trying to kill them, just deter them.
Yeah, just get out. Just don't come over here. Like, you're not invited to the party, so we don't
Get
murder
out
you.
here, man.
But the problem is other sea life gets caught in there. Fish,
Yeah, exactly.
sea turtles, other things. And once they get caught in there, like they don't have
die.
opposable thumbs. And another big
Figured out animals evolve already.
yeah.
Get those thumbs. How hard is it?
And then another big problem is like you have to check the nets every day to make sure that you're not
There's a
killing.
maintenance
Yeah, there's
and
a big
stuff.
maintenance problem. So his idea was trying to figure out what deters naturally, quote unquote, sharks from going into certain areas of water.
Well, I wanted to say that this I particularly like this one because this researcher this doctor of sharks, whatever he wanted to
Dr.
be called.
Craig O'Connell.
Yeah, so he was inspired
notes?
by when he was a kid and he watched Shark Week, and I thought that was really
Yeah,
cool.
he
Like,
watched.
Oh, that's
he watched.
full circle.
Yeah, he was like in 1996. I watched these sharks dying in these nets, and I was like, I want to do something about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
cool. So what we know about sharks, one of the things specifically about certain sharks, including they have usually like the hammerheads have this big big head, and inside that they can actually detect fields of what is it called? Fields of, I wrote it down here. Electromagnetic sensors. They essentially have it, so they can actually feel magnetic waves.
Just stick to it. They're like, ah.
No, they can just sense it. But that, first of all, that creeps me out. And they're like, a lot of people think they can actually tell like the electromagnetic waves that come from the earth, and that helps them navigate things better. I'm like, we don't have that ability. Like, what that's creeping me out, sharks. You already got teeth and you can swim fast. Like, why do you need the superpower? Okay.
how do you expect them
They
to
have
see?
spidey sense, man.
Exactly.
That's how they see.
Yeah.
So his idea is what if we take that ability and we essentially do what you're talking
Like
about,
reverse engineer it.
engineer it, and then create a magnet that tells them go away. It's like, it reminds me of like, when you play a dog whistle really loud and dogs are like, stop, stop, stop. This is a kind of that idea. And the way he builds this contraption is he builds these PVC pipes that sit on the floor of the ocean. He does an example near the coast. And he puts these giant boron, I don't know if they're boron, but they're magnets in them. And then they do this test, and the sharks come up, and then they go get close, and then they immediately go, screw that. And they swim away. And so,
does it require power or anything like that, or just the
magnets will do it, which is awesome. And they're like these PVC poles that are like floating. They're attached at the bottom, like with another PVC at the bottom of the ocean. So they move back and forth. And so
It's
people,
like a wall kind of.
yeah, and so people can swim through it, and other animals, sea life could go through it, but sharks won't go. So he did this test. I actually thought it was pretty interesting. He took a 16-year-old who just got bit like 6 months ago and lost his arm. 6 months, hasn't been back in the water, and he's like, we're gonna see if they'll go. I'm like, don't put the 16-year-old
Yeah,
got bit.
get anybody else who hasn't had a traumatic experience with sharks to test it out.
But
See, that's what I
That's a
think has
cute little
been great
piece,
about
right?
the past 2 years about the Discovery Channel is they are trying to bring back they try to bring back a lot of people who get attacked by sharks and talk to them, because those are the people who end up being the most biggest shark. What's the word I'm looking for?
advocates,
anti-shark?
Yeah, exactly.
anti-shark or pro-shark. It just depends.
So,
Yeah, so
they
they-
want to turn
they-
them in from anti-shark to pro-shark.
Yeah, so they always end up being the biggest advocates, and I can see how it would be good for somebody who had an attack to kind of, maybe face their fears a little bit, but I can
Maybe
understand
throw
how.
just a piece of meat that isn't alive. There's a lot of other things
But
you can
I
do.
think
Discovery.
that's so cool. Like, I think that they're shying away from. They still have the stupid shows that are like, and then this person, there's a serial killer, white,
Right,
over
it's not
here,
like a
so
highlight
like,
of murder. Like it's not murder porn, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we love that, but it's like, just do with sharks. It's like, no, like why don't we find out something positive to help both,
Yeah.
humans and sharks? With this theory of magnets repel sharks, he does it on a small scale with like bull sharks, and it works fantastic. But then they do
so
it
it's all sharks, not just hammerheads.
right. It's other different types of sharks because they all have that built in. And so then he goes to a place off of the coast of, I think it was off of Ensenada, somewhere near Ensenada, and he's going to try it on great whites, which is like, they don't F around, you won't F and B around, right? So
Guadalupe Island.
yeah, Guadalupe Island. And one of the things that he was always worried about is like, okay, well, it's not just does it work, will it stand the test of time? You've got swales, you've got huge ocean waves that hit this thing, and that's why
Debris and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
nets that hit it, you got to be able to do this. So he went and he did some diving, and he saw that sea lions hide in the kelp, right? And what that actually does is not only is it like hard to swim into, it also breaks up the vision of the shark. So it's hard for the shark to actually kind of pinpoint where
Like
this,
how?
You're like, where are you? Are you hiding in there? I'm not a vegetarian, so I just want to eat meat. It's the opposite of a vegetarian. So then he changes his design to essentially have two PVC pipes, or actually four, that are kind of connected at the bottom. Two are connected at the bottom, and then two are connected in the center that go up. So it kind of has this like waving back and forth. So it looks like kelp.
Oh, okay.
So not only will it prevent the shark from being repelled by magnets, it also blocks vision, sight, and it has a better flow like kelp does, so it maybe has a potential to have less. It's the idea of like if you have a long piece of bridge and you have one post in the middle, there's more likelihood it could break, whereas like if you have multiple sections, like concrete. You break up sections of concrete. Anyways,
It kind of sways with the
it's,
earthquake or
yeah,
whatever.
it looks
so
more,
doesn't break.
feels and looks like kelp. So then they set up this huge thing, and they can't put it on the floor of the ocean because it's too deep. So they actually like create like a bottom of like kind of like, it looks like lattice. It's not lattice, but it's like a chain link, right? And then on the top is this, it's all floating in this thing. He calls it the Square of Death, which I was like, why you gotta call it the Square of Death, bro? I'm not
they still
Cosmo
gotta
Mills.
do ratings,
Yeah,
David,
of course.
you know.
So it has this floating rig, and then there's magnets on the outside. And these great whites, they're coming up like 14, 15 feet long great whites just swimming real freaking close. And they have the photographer in there because he's a
Andy
world.
Casagrande.
Yeah, he's like,
Also
I
in a
love
box
him.
protected by magnets.
Yes.
Quote unquote protected.
yeah, no, but
He's
it's
so
like all it
handsome.
is just PVC. These sharks can just eat you.
Yeah.
And they're hungry. Like one of them bit the boat before they started this thing, and he's like, "Yeah, it was fine until the shark bit the boat. Now I know he's pissed." Like, so it was fascinating and exciting. The music.
Well, did it work?
It did.
Oh, okay.
He actually, I think they got to sell. They got to doctor it up. He gets in and he's like freaked. He's like, "Oh my God, it's working!" And then like he's starting to get freaked out because there's like 4 or 5 of them nearby. And then he comes out of the boat and he's like, "I don't know if I can keep going." But like, "You have to finish the science experiment, Dr. O'Connell. You got to do it. It's for science." He's like, "All right,
And
okay, back in."
they know it works because
Well-
they had to have done extensive testing with meat and all this kind of stuff. So
I
they
kn-
know it works.
Yeah, I know, but it's still just super exciting to see
Yeah.
like a shark get like. First of all, the footage that they get of these sharks, I'm like, we don't need it. Like, I know what a shark looks like. We don't need to get
Super
that close.
up close in their teeth
Yeah,
and
it's like,
stuff.
stop it. Like
But they need a higher
get up so
resolution
close.
now.
They're like, "Here's the shark." I'm like, "Stop."
Look inside his mouth. Look
I'm like, "Stop it!" And then they do the thing where like the shark bites the camera. I'm like,
I
"Why are
love
we
that part.
doing this? Why? It's not necessary. No
I
one
love
needs
that
to get
part
this."
personally.
I know it is, but they play the music well. It's very exciting. It's great. At the end, all the people that are involved are like, "This is huge." Like, if you can create something that protects sharks, protects humans, it's cost efficient, and it works this well, like, you could change the world.
You can set them off, how many feet of, by a beach where you're not necessarily ruining their migration patterns or anything, but just any strays.
Yeah.
And protect people.
And they always
stuff.
show like these I love these 3D renderings where it's like ocean and then it's like the barrier and then like people are swimming in the sharks or something. I'm like, I still don't want them that close. Like, I'm not going to go next to the thing and see if it actually works. Like, put your hand out. It's like,
Like, oh, just kidding.
remember
No,
when you were a
just kidding.
kid? Yeah, you're like, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. I'm on home
Yeah.
base. I'm not on home base. It's like, don't screw around. Like, just go watch Jaws and you'll never get in the ocean again. So that was fantastic. So I watched that one, which was a lot of fun. You watched it, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, it's that kind of stuff that makes me excited. And it's that kind of stuff that I think inspires other people to become marine biologists and actually make a change in
Out
the
of the
world.
box thinking.
And this guy's
totally
young.
different.
He's not like an old guy.
No, he's like our age.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, and they do get pretty close. Like the sharks get pretty damn close. And a couple times, you watch this stuff and I'm like, no one's going to die on the show. But I know that I think someone died on one of the episodes of like that fisherman show. What's the Deadliest Catch?
Everyone died. A lot of people died on the show.
No, I know. So I'm like, it's like Game of Thrones. You got to be like, I don't know if they're going to kill somebody off. Like, good Lord. Like, but they might. I don't know. Anyways, go see it. Sharks Among Us. It premiered just last week. Fantastic. The other one
I
that
think you can still watch the episodes if you go on Shark Week. It'll take you like to the
Yeah,
Discovery Channel.
that's how I watched it. I watched
You
it on
can
the
watch-
Discovery Channel
Yeah, you can watch
website.
some of the episodes there.
The other one I'll just talk about real quick, and then we have a little bit of field trip stuff to get to. It was called Return of the Monster Mako. So Mako,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool. So Mako, first of all, it has laser beams and sharks. Done.
Wait,
That's
what?
all. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Okay, here we go. So the Mako shark is a sport shark. So it's a sport fish. So it goes up to like.
Very slim. It's
They're
very,
fast, right?
but they can grow very big.
Well,
but
that's
they are
yeah,
very fast.
Yeah. So the normal, like the smaller ones, they can get up to like 30 miles per hour, and they're smaller. But they like after a certain amount of size, they like change, like they evolve. There you go, Pokemon. Seriously,
Yeah.
they get more teeth. They get like
They get
3
wider.
times as wide. They get super long, and then they start hunting instead of like other fish, like mammals, like big mammals, like
Roids, man.
it's basically HGH of the ocean, right? So, they can get up to 10 feet and 1,000 pounds, and they become more like secretive, so it's harder to find them. And that was this whole idea. It was like a fisherman's tale. They call them grander makos. And like people are like, oh, I saw a grander mako jump out of the air and eat a lasagna and then fall back down and take a bite out of the ocean. It's like, or bite
Their
out of the
weird
moon.
tails.
Yeah, it's like that. And so people were like, these don't exist, right? The mako shark, we know what mako sharks are, but we don't know what these granders are. Now people have documented them, but they want to tag them and they want to put this camera on the top fin. Is that called the dorsal?
Yeah.
The dorsal fin, which I'm like, why? This whole time, like, why do we need that?
That's the one I was watching too, and I was like, holy crap, they're strapping GoPros to these sharks.
Yeah,
That's so awesome.
Yeah, they are. And they put a camera on the front, camera on the back, and then they can see its eating, patterns, its hunting patterns, where it goes, how it, different things like that, which is super exciting. But I'm like, why are we getting that close to a shark? But remember,
why are we giving them technology? Yeah. They're going to reverse engineer it.
Exactly. But what's cool, what they do first when they get into the ocean is they have to measure the length of them, because they want to kind of, like you're talking about with the dolphin, become knowledgeable of the same mako sharks to see how they get that big. So what they use is this big giant machine that shoots these 2 green lasers at it, and that is an equal distance. And so they can point that at the shark, and based off of that, they can kind of reverse engineer how big the shark is.
It's kind of like Mythbusters,
yeah. Right. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so the girl in the ocean's like, shooting laser beams at sharks. How cool is this? Like, it's just like, yes, this is awesome.
That's what I love about Shark Week, is because when they're out on the boat and, whatever it is that they're doing, there's a lot of, research teams, especially like in Florida and stuff like that for University of Miami and in different areas. It's just fun to see, like, everybody has the same passion. Like, everyone is just as excited to see a shark in the water. If they are able to catch it and tag some of them, they're all like, freaking out about it. They're all like really excited, and I think that's pretty cool. Like
the one thing I saw, and I forgot which documentary it was, but they got the sharks and they were doing the. It looks like a Virtual Boy, but it was the ultrasound thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they shot this. And apparently, this is the first time where you've seen live sharks, because you can't really get an ultrasound close to one, so it's like a portable little like virtual reality kind of thing. And it's funny because like the first time ever, and they look like just tiny versions of big sharks, and they have like. Showed the footage, there's like these little tiny baby sharks, their teeth all showing and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
And apparently that's the first time that's when they were like all excited and stuff. And that's when we were making fun of the guy, because he's like, we got another one, flip down his Virtual Boy thing, all dramatic, like, we could do this, let's do it.
No, it's cool that they're into it. And that's great. That's what sells the, if you're not going to be a good actor, you need to be passionate about your work, because that will be, it's contagious, you know what I mean? But again, the music is like
so dramatic.
Like they play that one, they're like, and they do this thing where the people up top are looking down and they can see the shark saying, "Oh, you got shark, got 14-footer coming up on your left."
Whoa, shark! And like it's so stupid. Dramatic.
And so like even when I was watching, like, oh, he almost got you there. It's like, no, he never almost had you. They're just selling. I get it.
I know, before they get in the water, which I'm like. Again, why is the only question. We're about 45 minutes to about 50 minutes from a hospital. And then for a full-fledged hospital, we're about 3 days away. I'm like, why are we out here? Let's start over. Like, let's shop a better location. Like,
can we just bring a doctor with us on the boat next time?
They do, but they're like, yeah, if you get bit, like, hope you can survive 40 hours bleeding out. I'm like, I don't think you're gonna make it. Yeah, bring a doctor, like a Doctors Without Borders. This is where we need you. But it's fantastic. They do a good job of making it dramatic, but at the same time, making you learn something, and it's awesome. The footage that they get is unreal.
Yeah.
They're like, and I guess, it's just like beekeepers. They know like what to do, not to do around a shark when a shark is being agitated and has the potential to attack. Because there's sometimes like these sharks, like they will bite. They get close.
Yeah, they're not never going to be 100% predictable in their actions.
Right, but they know like, okay, I can get this close and it'll be okay. But like, the sharks come up from underneath and like all this crazy stuff.
In Deep Blue Sea, I learned where if a shark's charging at you, you could put your hand out on their nose, quickly flip around, and just grab the dorsal fin and ride it.
Yeah, Tomb Raider taught us that too. Ride a shark.
Yeah, done.
Thanks, LL.
Easy.
All right. Since it was Shark Week, we did a field trip. We've got some great footage. We'll cut to it while we're talking about it. But we went here in Vegas. Weirdest place to have a giant aquarium. But we have a shark reef at the wonderful
Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay.
A lot of Pokestops there for you Pokemon Go fans.
That's the only reason I got Gerald to come with us.
No GPS down in the main tank, though. Deal breaker.
We went to the Shark Reef, which was built in the 2000s here in Vegas. It is a gigantic aquarium. It was basically this brainchild of like, wouldn't it be crazy to build a giant aquarium in the desert? Like, I love that.
Let's do it.
Like here in Vegas, we have like a little bit of everything. We
got Paris, we got New York.
We got an aquarium.
World-class restaurants.
Yeah. We do actually have dolphins.
We do?
Oh, yeah.
We shouldn't, but
we got tigers and dolphins and stuff, yeah. See all the stops inside the Mandalay Bay.
Pokemon Go on the go.
Yeah, look at all the stops at Mandalay. Excited to see sharks and get Pokemans.
That's why we're really here. It's for your stupid Pokemon.
I have it open just so I can have some eggs right now. I gotta walk 5 kilometers.
So stupid. So it's a fully themed facility. Millions of people go there every year. It's we get a discount because we're locals. I've been a few
17
times.
instead of 22.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad, and it's really
20.
it's great. They have a lot of different things to check out. One of the things that when you first go in is they do this photograph thing where they like do a green screen.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's go like this. There's a
I
shark.
thought it was gonna be a cute picture. When we looked at the end, I was like, oh god, that's not good.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
it's like
what I
something
don't
I would
like.
do
So
on
it's like-
Photoshop. Yeah.
So it's like they're like, oh, pretend like the shark is getting you, but in the picture, like the shark, like you could see like the
He's
black
way
thing,
far away. Yeah.
like where it's like obviously like on a wall or something. And I'm like, couldn't you like Photoshop that out, make it look a little bit more like the
Yeah.
ocean? Like
It looks like it's in a tank behind you, and it's like no one would do that.
Yeah.
It's like that, it's like a bad photo family that you would do back in the day.
Yeah.
So anyways, but that's beside the point. But then you get into this, and they've done a really good job of like creating kind of an atmosphere. It says like Amazon. There's like
Like the
hid-
jungly stuff. They show you like
hidden temples.
alligators.
Definitely humid.
Yeah, the first thing we saw was the golden alligator, which is like pretty cool looking. Like, and it's
Black
it was,
and white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like docile. It was pretty. I wanted it to
Just chilling.
You always want all these animals to be like,
attack something.
yeah. It's
We
like,
went to the piranha tank. I'm like, can we watch a feeding or something?
she's like, we just feed them like really small
Little
bits.
piece they eat in one bite. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's kind of
she's like,
disappointing.
we
She's
should
like,
do,
I know.
chicken and whatever. I'm like, oh,
I'm like, someone give it an arm.
Yeah, somebody throws some real meat.
A
in it.
cadaver or something. That's what I want to see.
But the first thing that we saw that I thought looked really cool was that giant Komodo dragon. So they have sharks,
You
but
thought
then
that was cool.
why? Oh, because it like what? Because it pooped.
Yes.
It
Oh,
pooped
yeah.
in front of us. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But those things are gigantic. I know those like kill people, like
Yeah.
a lot of people. Not here in the States, obviously, but in other parts
Probably
of the world.
Australia.
Yeah, like they're gigantic and they move fast and they have
Yeah,
giant
I've
talons.
seen some kind of like documentary thing where they're like running.
Yeah.
Oh my
Can
god,
you
it's
imagine?
terrifying.
It's like a dragon. Like
Yeah, that
it's-
running towards you.
It's a dinosaur. It's the closest thing to a dinosaur that we have.
I want one.
And then they have it like put it on a little leash,
Yeah.
walk
Name it
around.
Drogon.
But then you get into like the more aquarium section, and they have them broken up. They have like Amazon predators, and they've got like some of these fish are gigantic, and like it's really cool the way they got it set up. But then you get to the actual sharks, right? And it's awesome.
Looks
They-
like in the bottom of a ship almost.
yeah,
like
it's
Yeah.
called Shipwreck, and they have huge sharks in there. It's just, I think it's, what is it, 13 million gallons? Or what did I have it? 1.3 million. That's
Yeah,
a little bit.
like-
Carry the one, or the decimal point. It's a 1.3 million or gallon, 1.3 gallon.
Galleon.
Scallion, saltwater exhibit. So they have like huge sea turtles in there. They've got these awesome sharks. But what I always love about aquariums is when they do either the glass from like floor to ceiling, or they do the tunnel.
The tube, yeah.
Yeah, because then you get this like enveloping, like
Immersive.
you're in it, man, and then they float over you, and it's like, yeah, now I'm underneath you, shark, reach up and bite you. But they had. I know that one of the things that they've always had difficulty with exhibits is like having certain sharks, because certain sharks like swim like in open waters, right?
You're not gonna have a great white, in
Well,
any exhibit, really.
They do in some places, but they only like live like a few days or a few
Yeah.
weeks because they
Yeah,
just
the Monterey
die.
Bay had like a we actually went to go see it. It was like a 6-footer great white. It was a very young shark. And then they tried to catch one like in Japan, and that one only lasted like 3 days.
Yeah.
It's just there are certain types of sharks that are more fitted to being captive.
And they're
is the
used to
wrong way
like
say
traveling
that.
hundreds of miles.
Yeah, and
You know,
then there
they
are other
obviously
sharks
can't do
you can't do that to them. Like they can't. They're not the type of animal that can get used to like somebody feeding them. That can get used to being in like a short like.
that.
just
Nomads,
random
man.
water.
Exactly, they're rebels. They can't
Yeah.
get mixed
Yeah.
up with these guys. And also, I know the sharks. Some of the ones that swim in open waters, they'll run into the glass like hard, and they'll get giant like sores and bruises all over them. Like, we don't need that.
Yeah.
But a great white attracts a lot of visitors, right? So
Yeah, we went to go see the great white. I was actually kind of disappointed because it was only 6 feet. I was like, call me when it's bigger.
Call me when it reaches double digits.
well, the
all right?
problem is like it needs a huge tank in order
Yeah.
to do that, just to even like not like last a few days. So like pretty much you're never going to see a great white in an aquarium. You're going to have to go out in the ocean, which
I mean, if you
don't.
if you do, it's going to be a baby one. It's going to be
Yeah,
a baby.
super,
to,
super
It's not
baby.
going to be Jaws. You're never
Yeah.
going to see that.
Oh god. The other thing that's there that my favorite part of this is that they have this awesome exhibit of the jellyfish. They have this huge
Jellyfish are always cool.
and they shine a black light or like this certain
Yeah,
light
to
that
make
lights.
them like iridescent kind
Oh,
of.
it's so cool and so creepy. Like,
They're aliens.
oh yeah, they are. Like jellyfish. What the hell is that? Who
Yeah.
like?
How
Another,
do you live?
And when you take them
jellyfish?
out of the water, they're literally just like plops of jelly on the ground. You're like, how does
this work?
where'd this come from? How did this evolve from what? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they had octopi there. That was really cool. They're like all up on the
Hank
glass.
from Finding Dory.
Yeah, and like it's fun to see that. And then of
There's
course
the
you s-
hand tank where you can touch one finger on the back, not the eyes of the tail.
Right,
as we're
exactly.
saying multiple times.
yeah, exactly. They've
Yeah.
got
Gerald tried to poke me in my tail, and I was like, not having it.
So fantastic. If you ever get a chance to come to Vegas, it's cool. It's like we didn't, we're adults and we had a great time with it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's actually, we kept saying it. It's really relaxing. Like if you want to like chill out, like there are screaming kids and stuff, but if you can get to a quiet area,
especially in the tube area or like that shipwreck thing,
and they
where
play
it's all
the music
dark
and like the flowing white or
it's
the,
funny
the,
about
the
that.
ocean,
So
the light coming through.
Our house, we have an empty bedroom and we painted the walls blue. And I just bought this little light from Amazon. It was like $20, and it like mimics like water waves, like on your
the
ceiling and like
Yeah,
on the
that's
walls
cool.
and stuff
Pattern
like
that's always
that.
there.
And so like you can put it to blue. So I put it to blue, and I had like underwater sounds whatever
Yeah.
playing from my phone, and it was really relaxing. And so when we were going through the tunnel, I told Gerald, I was like, "This is what I want. This.
All right, when I
This
buy a
is what I
house,
want."
babe, I'll make sure we have an aquarium tube for you to walk
Okay,
through.
thank
All
you.
right.
But it's just a lot of fun. It's cool for kids. It's cool for adults. It's not too long. If you burn through it real quick, it's
It's not Monterey, guys.
Yeah, it's not gigantic. But then they have another exhibit that they do like a separate exhibit that they do. I think it's like every 8 months they switch it around. So we went to that too. It was called Sea Monsters Revealed. This is kind of like the bodies exhibit, but it's with preservation of different aquarium life or aqua
Yeah, I was
life,
gonna say undersea life, ocean life.
ocean life. There you go. And they've done like crazy preservation.
Weird.
Like it's really weird. It's like
Yeah.
fish like preserved and cut open. You can see like everything from like a shark's heart cut open and see all like the valves. They have a giant 18-foot whale shark where they've got it like you can
Filleted on one side.
yeah,
with
and you can
skins
see
off
it, and it's just cool. You can see like the brain of a shark and all of the nerves inside of its head. It's just
We saw the innards of a penguin.
yeah, that was kind of weird.
just ripped open,
Well,
like it's
'cause-
flashing us with its organs. It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it was
The
interesting.
body's is weird, so
Exactly. Like it's kind of that like, ugh. Like you have that first part, you're like, oh god, it's real? Like that's real? And it's like Alyssa kept asking us, my wife, she's like, is it real? And I was like, yes, it's real. She's like, you sure it's real? Ew. It's just like, every when you're a kid, you had to dissect the frog, right? That's basically what it is. But it's just interesting. It's cool that we have technology now and like the ability to see like everything. You know what I mean? Like we know
what was
how
it,
everything
the mako that
ticks.
was like in slices.
Sliced in
Yeah, they
pieces.
took like
the cell.
yeah, like the movie The Cell. Yeah,
I'm
they've
trying to find a secret way to insert reference that movie every episode.
All right,
for-
take it easy. Jennifer Lopez. No, they have like a mako shark, and they've sliced it like wafer thin, and they have like, it looks like the slides that you used to have when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And they have that like laid out so it actually makes up the shark, and it's just really cool. And again,
It's unique.
yeah, it's different. It's not like, it's an aquarium, but it's like all the dead stuff. But it's just cool to see all of that. And again, when we were in there, it was like super relaxing. It was just like, oh man.
I always want to take a nap.
There
in
was a
there.
guy in there. I didn't know if you saw this. There was a worker there, and he was sitting up against the wall. Like, it's just like
Yeah, he was in the corner, right?
he had his eyes closed.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I was like-
I saw the guy. I didn't.
I was like, this has got to be the most relaxing job ever. Because it's like, he's just like, yeah, I like this track. The track of like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it was a lot of fun.
New agey.
Yeah, no, they sell this as like Sea Monsters Revealed. And
What
you're
do you think is under the water?
like, yeah, it's
I'm like, oh, we're gonna see a big nurse shark. It's like, oh, a dead one. Oh, okay.
yeah, they definitely like kind of hyped this in the wrong direction,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
fine. When we walked in the first time, I was like, this is the museum I know. The one where nothing moves and everything's in glass cases, you know what I mean? Like, you go to an aquarium and you actually get life, That's why the aquarium's way cooler. So that's what we did. We did a shark thing. Now, I want to talk about a couple shark games, because one that I downloaded, and it's been like promoted like crazy on Shark Week, is this one from Ubisoft called Hungry Shark World.
It's an Ubisoft game.
Yeah, it's Ubisoft. It's a mobile game where you're a little shark, and one side of the phone is like moving around in the ocean, and the other one is like boost, and you have to eat like all these other fish to stay alive, and you're trying to get like different icons when you're swimming. But the cool part about it is like you can like, no, this isn't cool, but you can eat humans and gain a lot of health, and you can like, if you boost right, you'll like jump out of the, what do you call it, breaching?
Breach. Yeah.
You breach
Yeah.
out of the water, and you can like jump so high that you eat like a pelican that's flying in the air. It's like really kind of brutal.
Or a helicopter, Deep Blue Sea.
There you go.
It went up and bought the guy or bit the guy in the chair in the helicopter. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
God, that movie's so good. We just saw that last week, by the way.
So Deep Blue Sea, The Shallows. And
you saw Jaws too, right?
Jaws, yeah.
Yeah, they need to remake Jaws. I think they need to do that.
No.
There's a couple movies that would be, because although
Just make another shark, but just don't call it Jaws. You don't need to remake Jaws.
no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, make a cool shark movie. Like, I want like a hardcore.
Shells was actually pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
I need to go
that
see
was really good.
It's not like Super Monster Shark. It's just a apparently aggressive shark that has a thing against Blake Lively, but it's still really good.
And then the other one was one that I downloaded on the Steam sale, which is Shark Attack Deathmatch.
We will play it and we'll have a let's play.
Yeah, this is a first-person shooter game where you can work cooperatively as divers to try to kill sharks, or you can play deathmatch, and one of the players is a shark, and literally on the FPS, like the view
middle of the mouth,
you
right?
see like the teeth like this, and you go up and you like bite the other people. This game is terrifying. I played it, and I played it a few times just trying to kill sharks. Like they play the music, and when the shark, it's like when a shark's nearby, it's like da da da, and then the shark gets close, like, and it's just like it gets close, it's like, kill it, and I'm out of like harpoons, and I'm just swimming like uncontrolled. Like I was doing what I would do if a shark. I just swim uncontrollably, and you try to like find a sea otter and ask for his help, and he's like, "Yeah, get the hell out of here!" It is just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I'll play it tonight.
It is nerve wracking. It's one of the few games where I was like, I can't play this a lot because I'm gonna literally crap myself. Like it was so scary. But all in all, Shark Week's awesome. I'm happy that it's popular, that it's doing well, and it's just so cool. It's cool that the marine biologist in that documentary was inspired by the thing that he is now on. That is
cool.
That's what this is supposed to do. Inspire people to make a difference. And I know it sounds silly.
Sharks aren't bad, guys. I know we see these movies and they're terrible, and they have super sharks in that movie Deep Blue Sea. It's really good. LL Cool J is in it too. But sharks aren't. Yeah, they look scary, but they're just like any other animal. We don't need to go out there and kill these monsters. They're just leave them alone.
Yeah, don't eat shark fin soup.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I didn't even know we eat shark.
No, it's a big thing in China and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like a coming of age thing? Like, oh,
no, they
eat
literally just like they chop off the dorsal fins and then just leave them there to die, to bleed out.
Yeah.
And they just serve the fin.
Oh, they like
in
make
like a
broth,
soup, but it's old cartilage.
right? But they just make a broth out of it.
Yeah, from what I heard, like
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay went as an advocate to go over there and like try it and to see what they're doing and reveal and all that kind of stuff. He's like, this doesn't even taste good.
So it's a coming of age thing.
But it's the thing, it's more like a duck. It's like, oh, shark fin soup.
No, I get. That's what I'm saying. It's like a
Look at me.
real
Yeah.
fog eyed.
Yeah.
It's like the blowfish thing. Like you can eat it, but if you eat too much of it, it'll kill you. But it's like, oh, you can survive it. I get the T-shirt at the end of it. I survived the blowfish soup
Yeah.
or whatever. It's so stupid. We need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
what
just
was,
like any other marine life. They just got a lot of teeth.
And that's what's cool about that marine biologist. Like he was when they were bringing up the nets, because he went to somewhere. I believe it was in I think it was in Cape Cod, South Africa,
yeah.
where they do nets, and they had like a big shark problem. They put up these nets, and it's been really helpful. But every day they have to take the nets up, and he's like, "Oh God, if they pull up a dead shark, I'm gonna lose it." Like he loves sharks, but then it's so
You missed your
weird.
calling, babe.
I really did.
You should be a marine
You know.
biologist. That was
If
always the
I
class
didn't
that
get
everybody wanted to be in.
seasick, I definitely could have been a marine
So
biologist.
I'll be a marine land biologist. Is that a thing, guys?
Be
Can
the
you
lab
just
tech.
bring all your information to me?
I got
I'll
a drone.
Process it.
Drones are a thing now, right?
Well, see, this is the thing that I loved about Shark Week, is that it brings a lot of awareness. It brings I imagine it brings a lot of funding to the actual programs. and stuff
Absolutely.
like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
And
definitely.
what I love is that every year we get to see kind of the strides that they make in the technology that they use in
Fruit of their labor, yeah.
Yeah, and like and the information that they get, and it's amazing. Like it's helping us understand the oceans better, you know, and it's really about what I love is seeing like how they're using robots now to go into the water. To
I say, when are we
going
gonna
to
get drone seals or drone sharks to hang out with other sharks
Yeah,
and stuff?
like they're working on that, and I think that's amazing. I think that's so cool.
We need to figure out how they have the electromagnetic sensors and then put that in people.
Right.
It's coming. That's why we need to research these special abilities of all these animals. Because guess what? Animorphs is going to happen. Dude. More research
I'm
needs to
gonna
go.
augment animal tech in my brain.
Absolutely. How awesome was that? Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Chomp
That's
chomp.
it. Yeah, it's been good.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our show. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.